Okay. Um, that was odd, to say the least. I should have gone. I've been working so hard on trying to figure out what the fuck happened just now. I should have went and got more tea and loaded up again. But how's that? I'm just in the middle of talk, and then all of a sudden my computer just full on crash. Full. This isn't Mac, and they don't usually do that, but full on crash. Like just everything went down. Um, and I had a few people on, but we'll see if anybody comes back. But holy fucking crap, I can't get over that. I've never seen that before, and I think the stream is still there. So what I was doing before we were so rudely interrupted was reading this treat sheet on public offices and officers. Like I said, what is it? It's a 869-page treat sheet, and I think I was just reading the outline and talking about various things. And how far did we get? I don't think we even got. We didn't get that far. How far did we get? Definitions. Book one. Yeah, we're in the table of contents. Okay. So, scrolling. Let's see here. Appointments to fill vacancies. We're around here someplace. What is meant by appointment? Religious. Okay, we read that. Necessity of appointment or election. Purpose of this chapter. What is meant by appointment? Where power of appointment lies. Appointment to office is an executive act. Exceptions to the rule. We did all of that. Commission is evidence merely. Classification of vacancies. Anyway, all right. So you get the idea that just on this one word, wow, I really don't know where I was. I have to go back and watch the other video. Or somewhere around 121, I think. Under what circumstances appointing power may be... Right? So all of this stuff, the point of this long-winded point, right? That's just one word. I mean, simple as that. It's not, right? And this is hundreds of pages. Let's see here. And then you start reading the stuff with a knowledge of the words. I enjoy this treat sheet. Males only may vote. This is before women had suffrage. And again, it talks about how women aren't allowed, or, most oftentimes women couldn't be officers. We've changed all that. But it's good to know and read some of these books. And see, now we're adults and we don't have all the time in the day to be running over this stuff. And also when I was talking in the other video, a couple of videos ago, I talked about putting a dictionary in your car. Not so you can read it to police officers, so that when you are waiting to pick up somebody, or you are waiting in line at the whatever it is, drive-through or food bank or wherever you might be, you got a book there to look through. And it's easy reading, right? It's not the kind of thing where I used to keep novels in my car. And then, you just get to the good part, and then everybody's in your car and ready to go, and you can't sit there and read. But when it's a dictionary, you just, just read anytime you want. So you can read a couple of definitions. You might run across one that's interesting. I read one in Latin. It basically says that, what did it say? It said, oh, shoot. Now I can't remember it, and I took the page mark out. Yes, I did. Anyway, but basically what it said is that you don't get to mention, or you don't make accusations in a court of law that you can't prove, or that unfounded things may not be brought up. See, that's why you need a dictionary, so you get it exactly. Anyway, but the idea is you take the dictionary, put it in your car, and you can maybe read a few. Just like when I talk about teaching children mathematics. 2 or 3 multiplication facts in the car while you're driving someplace. And, what's 6 times 7? What's 3 times 5? What's 9 times 8? And that's it. Right? But every time you get in the car. So then it's not this big thing where you're trying to memorize your multiplication tables and you spend hours at it and they hate you just right. Okay, same thing with the law, or same things with reading some of these books, especially the law dictionaries. You read a few definitions, and every day, and pretty soon you get through the book, right? And then you look up, maybe there's a list like I made of words that you want to know the definitions of, and then you find out that yeah, here, oh, oops, when we go to O, that, see, and that's what they do. They do it to you on purpose, right? My computer resets and crash. This thing never crashes, and now they throw you off your game, right? So if you're on a roll, um, okay, I'll take it. Let's see here. Always have some interesting comments. Oh, we're looking at O. And the other day, there was a bunch of comments there, and I, honest to God, didn't know. I understood all the words, but I didn't know what they meant in the context. Let's see here. L M N O. Okay, there we go. Oh, there you go. Obligee. What's that? A person to whom an obligation, right, is due. Let's see here. But that's not the one I want. I want officer. Okay. So again, we're recapping here because of that thing. Okay, so there's officer and office and so forth. It's like, it's that one paragraph. And yet there's an entire treatise that, oh, can I put it here? Yes, I can. I'll put it here again in the chat box. Yes. All right. You can click that and you can see the PDF I was reading from, which is 600 pages covering this one word. Right? All right. There you go. Nope, not that one. I don't see it. All right, never mind. But basically, it was. And see, that's the other thing. In Latin, if you've taken any Latin, everything has to match, right? So it rhymes. It's a rhymey language because you'll have lots of stuff that ends in a, and for the verbs and anyway. So officium nimini debit esse damnosium. So, I don't do the Latin thing, and you're supposed to do it with an Italian accent. An office ought to be. What? How about I use this device? An office ought to be. What the hell? I can't read that word. Ought to be injurious to the one employed in it. Okay. I don't know. Maybe you can read it. There. Right. Okay. So you hit pause and read the thing. But the idea is that you got to know what the words mean. Some words are quote unquote more important than others, and you need to understand that it's not it's not an option to be. Ignorance is negligence. Negligence is ignorance. I don't particularly agree with that because how come we're ignorant? Because of our negligence? No, because let's see. If I start teaching you all the things that I know about this and coming out from under the whore, and I got a big following, they'd kill me. Simple as that. The only reason why I'm able to continue broadcasting here on YouTube is because I have no following. What do I got? 3 guys right now? I think before we got interrupted, it was like maybe 10. If I have a huge audience for me, that's like 20 people, right? All right, so they don't give a shit. There's, 300 million people in the United States? So, having a following of 3 or 4, or, my average video now, and I don't know if those counts are accurate because people tell me that they see my videos in interesting places, and you're totally allowed, right? Just and then what they'll do on YouTube is make it so that they change the permissions so that you have to be not for children and so on, and then you can't watch it embedded on the various sites, and you can only watch it on YouTube, and because you got to have your age permissions in there and so on. So they just make it so that it won't play in other places that people have put it. So I have no idea how many people actually watch these things, but it can't be very many, which is why I'm still allowed to broadcast. Jordan Slater, he had thousands. SGT Report, tens of thousands. Amazing Polly, hundreds of thousands. Many of these people did, right? And just purged them off because now what are they doing? They're making it so those of us that know that Trump won in a landslide, he probably flipped California. That blows my mind. The chances that he flipped California is high. While you're looking at Arizona, he couldn't win if he can't flip Arizona. They totally came up with this ridiculous narrative, and I didn't understand because I wasn't watching on CNN. But I had several of my Republican mind washed. They've got TDS syndrome just as bad as the liberals do. Asking me about Arizona. I'm like, Arizona's only 11. But what they were trying to say is, well, Arizona's been Republican for 11 electors. I mean, Arizona's been Republican for 72 years, and if he can't flip Arizona, or if Biden flips Arizona, he's totally no. It was a bullshit story from top to bottom. They cheated, then they cheated some more, and then they got busted for cheating, and a lot of these guys are going to prison, if not the gallows. And Trump's getting back in the White House. That's straight up. That's how this is going to work. They set a trap. They've been planning for this for years. I'll put a video from Thomas Wictor down there again. I'm so happy to have found him on YouTube. I had no idea that he, because I used to follow him on Twitter, and we both got kicked off. My girlfriend was on Twitter fucking with John Podesta, and they threw a virus at her that made it so that her hard drive won't boot up. I mean, like they're not fucking around, right? That's conspiracy theory. But oddly enough, the coincidence is pretty high. But the idea is, if you're online, they can get to you. This connection, they can get into your computer. There are back. I mean, anyway, the idea is that they want absolute control of the information, and they lost control of the information a little bit. And part of that, trying to get their control back, is sticking Biden in there so that they can do some of the things that they will continue to do legally. Many of the things that they're doing that they shouldn't be able to do. They shouldn't be able to curtail your free speech. There should be all manner of opinions on what happened with this election on YouTube. But instead, you only hear one side. Same thing, Facebook, same thing. Instagram, same thing. Twitter, well, Twitter, you get both sides, but then they start deleting it. But apparently these Democrats are not clever enough to understand that maybe they want to hear both sides. Maybe, just maybe, you want to hear the opposing viewpoint. Right? When Biden gave speeches, and there weren't many of them, but when Biden gave speeches, I fucking watch Biden speeches. When Trump gives speeches, I freaking watch Trump speeches. And I don't agree with either one of these men, particularly. But when they speak, maybe you listen to what they have to say. And you get to hear, quote unquote, both sides. It's one side. This is the thing that my friend Justin can't seem to fucking understand, is that we got one bird here, and it comes in two flavors. Right? But that's one beast. And this beast is not there to set you free, and Donnie is not there to set you free either. They want you enslaved. They want you to fill out, because your thing only works for 5 years. So every 4 years, they want you re-upping your voter registration, because if you don't re-up your voter registration, anyway, it expires after 5. And now they don't have as much ability to tax, and because basically what you're doing is every 4 years you tell them that you're a member of the United States corporation, that you are a U.S. person, and that you need representation. And you tell them over and over again, and it becomes a habit. It becomes customary for you to vote in every election. A lot of people, that's all they ever do. They don't get involved civically. They don't go feed homeless people. They don't go out there and anything. They don't go make a difference cleaning up beaches or anything like that. They just, every 4 years, they vote. And a lot of times that's the lowest form, right? And where they vote every 4 years. And then there's other ones that they vote every 2 years, right? Because we have the midterms. And they think that that's self-governance. That's not self-governance, right? You got to be able to govern yourself. And governing yourself is might involve a little more than you think. What is that over here? All right, fine. Always. That's logic. Laws of logic apply. Yes, laws of logic always apply. Fine. All right. Anyway, the point being is that the Democrats are only hearing one side. The Democrats are only hearing about Biden won. We say Biden won. Biden didn't win. I see George Takei, that gay fuck, trying to say that, Georgia and did Georgia declare? No. How about Arizona? Did Arizona declare? No. How about all these other states that they called for Biden? Did they have their electors voted? Well, then it's a little early to be saying who they voted for, isn't it? If their electors haven't voted and if this vote hasn't been certified, and the vote hasn't been certified in state after state after state. But the original, oh shit, I should go pull that up. But I'm scared to have anything else open because, like I said, I've never seen my computer crash the way it just crashed on the other one. So this is 8A. But yeah, and see, I was on a roll and they killed the roll. Or maybe my computer just on accident crashed right in the middle of that thing. But I've never seen it crash like that. And then I had a hell of a time. And then it was telling me I was still alive, even though my computer had crashed. I reset it. I came back to YouTube and it still said I was broadcasting live. And then when I tried to go see, well, okay, what's happening? I clicked on it and of course nothing happened. Anyway, the long story short is, yeah, they're fucking with people big time here. They got rid of all the quote unquote alternative voices, all the people that could do logic and reasoning, all the people that would inform you that, yeah, there's a whole lot more going on here than you might think, especially when it comes to this election. And there's stuff going on behind the scenes. Like I said, Wictor is great. I'll put that video below. But one of the things he talks about is Trump is a showman. He's been a showman for the longest time. All right, I'm not going to read your stuff anymore. Because it's distracting. Anyway, and that's another word you need to look up when it comes to hugely important word. I'm sure there's a treatise on person, but like I said, there's a 600-page treatise on officer, and you can't read the treatise if you don't understand all the different words. And then I would suggest, as I was saying, keep the words to a minimum, superfluous words. Oh, and speaking of that, let's read this whole thing. That was the other thing I was going to do, and then we'll quit for today. And then it may be a while. I may not be back for a little while because I am not going to be busting my ass to I'm going to be busting my ass to clean this house after this ridiculous mess turned into because I just kept piling up books, watching videos, reading books, writing drafts on my stuff, writing letters to various people, and making a mess of my house. Because I'm that kind of guy. I don't clean up afterwards. And now it's time to clean up and move on. Because I'm not going to be going back to court for, well, as far as I know, I'm not going to be going back to court for a while. So let me read you this document that I wrote. And see, I'm going to write variations on this statement. And in here, to other people, I'm going to let them know. Right of suffrage. I specifically claim my right of suffrage and veto power. Revoke your power of attorney. Revoke signatures. I want an investigation into this bond that they wrote on this account over here because the truancy violation, even if and they never did charge me, they were building the case, the maximum, well, traditionally, first offense is $100. They could charge you up to $1,000. I mean, that was the maximum penalty you can charge for that. And they wrote $5,000 of the bonds. Does that sound like fraud to you? Like, why would they write $5,000 of bonds when at any time, if they would have asked me for a $100 bill to make that thing go away, I would have given them a $100 bill and said, fuck off, all right, fine. But they never did because they wanted to write bonds, because they want to keep modifying. Every time I came into the court, they modify the bond. Anytime I send a piece of paper and they got to read it, they charge me for that. Okay. What I was doing. Oh, I was going to read this to you. And I'll tell you what, I'll put it up here. Ooh, no, I won't, because I want to do Open Office. Now, if Open Office crashes my computer, which it normally never does, but all right, let's see here, because I want to read it from the thing. Yes, reopen it, because I had it open. And yeah, okay, yeah. So now I'm doing a start recovery because those two documents. All right, let's do next. There it is. Okay, good. All right, so hold on a second. Just make this bigger. Blow it up, I mean. Okay. Now, you're going to use, when you do this, you're using your name. Your Christian name. No one comes unto the Father except through me. So John Quincy Adams is not my name, by the way, dorks. Somebody sent me an email. You're like, well, that's cool. You're the same. No, I'm just using that as an example. All right. So let's go with how about Crouton Ramon? So all lowercase, and it should be that. And I'm from the house of math. So it would be Crouton Ramon math. Oops. I'll make it lowercase here. All right. If Crouton Ramon was a living man, it's a thing I made up. It's a nom de plume. There's only one Crouton Ramon on the whole freaking internet. If you go find Crouton Ramon, it's me. All right. I have a. Let's go get that document because I always point to it and you guys never see it. All right. Here's this. Oh, look, it's even got the little gold foil on there. Okay. What is that? That's the United States of America. United States of America? Did it just say United States? No, it says United States of America. United States Patent and Trademark Office. Let's see here. Crouton Ramon's House of Math. And there's my trademark, and there's my number, and there's everything, right? It's all there. Right? There's a happy little gold seal. That's a real gold seal. Okay. This expires every 5 years. Just like your voter registration. This isn't in Legis. I could probably get him a passport and a bank account and all kind of stuff. If I want to get an EIN for Crouton Ramon, I could do it. Okay. So that. Okay. So let's say it is, let's say it's, oops, not a capital. All right. Not in title case. This is not a title. That's your name. Oh, that's who you are, right? The Christian name. This is, many of you consider this first and middle. No. And if you see, I can prove it now. That on my, of course, they did it all caps. So, Capitis Diminutia Maxima, or, God, I gotta look that up. But basically, it means they use all capital letters to diminish your status. But what you're going to do is the Christian part, the first part, not math. That would be Mr. Math, right? The House of Math. That would be Mr. Math. John Quincy, family or House of Adams, right? I don't remember. What's his name? There's a guy that comes on here, Justin Dean, or whatever the hell his name is, or no, that Tommy Dean, Thomas Dean, House of Kekona, all right, Tribe of Kekona. But anyway, it's and we all, right, and his family calls him Tommy Dean, right? I heard my first and middle my whole life until I came to sixth grade, until I came to first grade, or kindergarten actually, because it was too long to write my whole name, right? So they just shortened it down to 3 letters. Because that's my first name. All right, but the idea is that you guys think first and last. Crouton Math. No. Crouton Ramon, and then House of Math. John Quincy, House of Adams. Anyway, so when you're writing these documents, and I'm about to read you mine, because many people wanted to know, what the hell did you write? Okay, this is what I wrote. And see, I'm going to change it up a little bit for various other officers. So in this one, I put the case number and so forth. And again, we're going to collapse those bonds because bullshit. Those concerned. And see, normally I would have addressed it to a certain person, right? Address it to the officer or the name. Find out their first name. If you have a presiding judge in your case, ask him what his name is. And then he'll say, my name is Judge da da da. And you can say, thank you for your dishonor. Ask for your name, not your title. And then they'll kind of sort of get the clue, especially after you told them that you're appearing especially, not generally. That's going to get their attention too. But when you say things like that, and you see, you got to learn to, we should play drill for skills and play in sales offices where, you know, the common objections that you'll get from whoever it is, and then you have a quick response. And you've used the response so many times that it just sounds natural, not forced. So have you got ID? Yes. Will you show me your ID? Or, you know, let's see your ID. Is that an order? Did you say he ordered you to say? Now, again, I'm telling you, don't be an ass. Each time the cops have come to me trying to write me an offer because they're going to try and break their oath of office and offer me a contract for not wearing a mask, where they're going to try and get money out of me because I won't wear the mask. I wore the mask in court. I wore it, right? Because that building, they had it all, and you got to go get the freaking temperature test and everything. And I looked like one of them, right? I didn't go in there saying, I'm not going to put the mask on. Because the first time I did is like, I really don't want to wear a mask in my life. And then you're going to have to call somebody and bring it in. Fuck it. I just walked into their court looking like one of them. And, well, I walked into the building. They wouldn't let me into the courtroom. But the idea being is that you, there are times to fight, and there are times not to fight. And the court knows better than I do when not to fight, obviously. Okay, so I'll go read this to you. I'll just put, instead of my name, I'm going to put John Quincy. John Quincy is a man. And that should probably say John Quincy is man, or should say the man. I, semicolon, man. This is huge, actually. So there can be no question now who I is. John Quincy has 2 sons, and then I named them, and I just use their names that they've always heard since they were little boys. I never just call my boys by their first names. They hear their first and middle, or what you would consider their middle, and so I name them. Sons are part of sons are part of John Quincy's estate. Wait, I can't read. Sons are part of John Quincy's living estate. I reserve all rights. I appear specially, not generally, to resolve this matter. No man, woman, or person has authority. Notice, man, woman, or person. Those are 3 different things. No man, woman, or person has authority to administer my estate without my consent. Family court is interfering with my right to administer my estate. Right? Just super simple statements. No argument. No need for adjudication. Right? We know what the word son means. We know what man, woman, person, right? And if person can be, because there's 2 definitions for person. There's the living thing, the man or woman, and then there's all the other stuff where it can be a trust, it can be a country. I mean, like the United States is a person. State of Hawaii is a person. Judiciary courts of the state of Hawaii is a person, and on and on and on. LLCs are persons. Right, corporations. Amazon is a person. Let's see here. So I just read that. Any man or woman or person who acts on my behalf will be held liable. Super simple, right? Any, not some, not all, not authorized, not anything. No qualification. Any man or woman or person who acts on my behalf will be held liable. Now, who acts? The verb in that is acts. What do that mean? Let any man or woman or person who claims authority or jurisdiction to administer my estate or trusts, absent my consent, come forward and verify that claim upon swearing an oath or affirmation to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Law of 3s. And you'll see this again, right? You'll see me say this, no man, woman, or person 3 times. All right, so understand the law of 3s. You got to understand the law of 3s when you do these also. You don't necessarily have to use the law of 3s in your contracts because, as Carl Lentz will tell you, I probably could have gotten away with 2 or 3 sentences instead of all these sentences. But I just wanted to be, right? So, and then when I tell I'm going to tell them, I reserve all rights. And see, all right, you diminish a sentence if I said including the right to suffrage, then that's the only right I'm reserving. You think that means all these other rights plus the right of suffrage. But no, when you put one thing in particular, and that's in there, the inclusion of one is the exclusion of another, is what the Latin means. But I don't speak Latin. So anyway, but you can look that up. But the idea is, so no. And then if you are going to put a list in there, then you say including but not limited to. Right? That'll cure that. But I mean, again, keep it simple, and you don't have to do all these things. But so I reserve all inalienable rights. Right? Okay. And like I said, I'm going to write this to a different one where I tell them that my right to suffrage, my right to veto, Yeah, I'm going to rescind your, anyway, all that stuff is going to be in a slightly different form. And then I'm going to say, my right to travel. And, so if I am going to exercise my right to travel, I'm going to need some identification, and you guys are going to need to hook me up. So here's some pictures of me and my signature or my autograph and all the information you'd need. Here's my height, my weight, my physical description of the property that we're talking about, my own person. Anyway, that's going to be a different letter. This was to this court. Let's see here. Let any man or woman or person come forth in open court who has any claim for injury or damage or breached contract. See, and I could have put for injury or damage or loss, but not even gonna put it in there, right? But you're talking about your square, right? I'm on my square. Why are you fucking with me? Why are we in court if I haven't stepped off my square? If I haven't breached the peace, if I haven't breached the contract, if I haven't caused anybody harm, if I haven't caused anybody any loss, why the fuck are we here? If I have, then you need to tell me. Please produce a competent witness. I have the natural right to face any accuser. That's part of why we have that Constitution. Okay, you're not part of the Constitution. They've sworn an oath to uphold the Constitution so that they can protect your natural right to a fair and speedy trial and to be able to face your accuser. Right? And they've tried to work that out because of facing your accuser, especially when it's rape, or especially if you're a child that has been traumatized by a horrifying person, you may not want to face your accuser, because that might be traumatic. But at the same time, you have the right. You can waive that right, but goodbye rights, bye. Waive the rights. You basically don't want to waive your rights, and you don't want to waive your right by contract. And what you need to do is tell them that I haven't anything that I signed before this does not diminish my rights. So I'm rescinding all the signatures and I'm revoking all those things. All right. So please produce a verified contract or a verified claim. Who verifies a man or a woman can verify a claim? A person cannot verify. Okay, so because a person, a man or a woman is in that office, is in the capacity as postmaster, is in capacity as president, is in capacity of whatever it is, but the office itself can't speak. The dead thing can't speak. So the thing that speaks, that would be us, is what verifies a claim or verifies a charge or verifies a whatever it is, right? You need a competent witness and you need to have some damages, or there is no case. Okay, so all these things where there's, right, and see, you got to remind them of the facts. So everybody not everybody, but most everybody that's in jail is there voluntarily, because you never claimed your rights. You just went along with them when they didn't produce a damaged party and didn't produce a competent witness. And if you went along with it, well, that's your bad. Let me keep going here. So this is all fit on one page. Ben Isaiah is the man, right? Oh, wait, sorry, wrong name. And I'll just use it at this point. Ben Hosea, that would be me, son of Hosea. Ben Hosea is the man who is authorized to represent, and then I put all my legal names, right? Again, and you'll see them here. In title case, John Q. Adams, right? So capital Q, period, capital A. And see, because that's why I got my passbook and so forth. So you can see I have never been in commerce without the middle initial since sixth grade. There's never been a time when I was just first and last, ever. So when they try to tell me that I'm first, that's not me. You got the wrong guy 5 ways, right? So I'm not denying, I'm not being belligerent. It's like, that's not me. There was one John Adams Sr. I've never been John Adams Sr. I've never been Ben Rogers Sr. Never done business like that. Never done in anything like, okay, so fuck you. Stop it. I know what you're trying to do. This is who I am. I know my name. And if you think you know your name, know my name better than I do, then fucking come forth and sit on the witness stand and tell me what my name is. All right? Swear in if you know better than I do. You fucks. And see, that's what they try to do. They trick you. They trick you. And I can tell you that judges fucking make bets that this guy, I can trick him into not knowing his name. Right? They have nothing but contempt for our fucking ignorance. And our ignorance is self-inflicted. All right, so where was I? Right, I produce a competent witness. And see, again, I'm not demanding, I'm not right. I'm just please produce a competent witness. Now, you can say I require, because you do. And I have a natural right to face my accuser. Please produce verified contract or a verified claim. Benozea will make good on any verified claim or contract with my mark, signature, or autograph. I'll make good on it if you got one. Right? I'm an honorable man. You got a contract that I signed, that I agreed to, then we'll make it good. Bring it forth. Show it to me. You don't have one, so fuck off. And I've seen letters like this where this one guy was just, he did it in the most flowery language, and it was calligraphy, and he basically called them bastards and fraudsters and all kind of names and stuff like that in the most erudite manner. But don't do that. Just simple, plain English in your hand. And that way you don't need a notary, because nobody can forge a whole, like, oops, what do I do with it? It's over here. Yes. Nobody is going to consistently forge an entire document like this in your handwriting. They're going to fuck up, right? The way you write is the way you write. Nobody else writes like you. I'm not going to get into it, but I'll actually, yeah, I'll tell you a short story. But let me finish reading this first. Okay, so so I put down the 4 names that I've seen in business, and the only reason why I have 4 names is because they kept fucking with me, and so I have all these different things where it's a title case, all uppercase. Okay, so and that doesn't really matter. It's the names that matter, right? So I have it in 4 different ways, and where the last name comes first, with the whole middle name. And the whole, and then just the initial. Now, here's the thing. What you think is a middle name is not going to be a middle name. I don't have a passport handy, but when you get it, it's going to be this thing, generally, just like the IRS did for me, in all caps probably, is going to be considered the first name. And then there's in the space, there's going to be a space for your middle name. That's going to be blank. And then your last name is going to be, right? That's key. This stupid shit like this is key, right? That will tell them, and I guarantee you the guys that sit there at the borders, they know this shit. When they see this, and they'll know that this is a man that's walking across this border, not the person. All right. And then on the bottom of the page, if you look, I put down all the variations. And see, it's on this side, that's the debtor, and it's all in all caps. And over here, that's me, and that's my autograph, and right, and my thumbprint and the date. And also on the original document, I sealed it so that if you put your finger over there, or if you rubbed your across the thumbprint, you could feel that there was a raised seal there. Same thing with this. I raised the seal on this, right? And again, for those of you paying attention at home, you take your whatever contract it is, scrolling, the old school. You start from the bottom, starting from the bottom. This is why people don't know what to do on the back side of the page. They consistently get it wrong. Now, if I had wanted to, okay, and I've tied it with a green ribbon, green for the master. Where'd my green ribbon go? I don't know. I had it here. There it is. All right, so tied it up with a nice little bow so that when they open it, but see, no, that's right. And then if you wanted to, you could put on over here someplace where it shows in the scroll. So when he just looks at the scroll, he knows what it is. Because you'll see, I've been in judges' offices where it's and it's all this, right? And then when they put the green ribbon on, it's like that's an identifier. And then when they look at that, that's and then it might have the judge's name there, or the case number there, or more identifying marks somewhere along here. So that when he just looks at it, he knows what's in here. He doesn't have to untie it and open the thing. Okay, this is just record keeping and so forth. All right, and we don't do it like this anymore because everything's flat and printers and stuff like that, right? We don't do. But if you look at the old stuff and libraries of old, it was scrolls. And if you go to, I've been to places where it scrolls, right? Where you roll out a scroll. It's not a book form. It's the scroll form. It's the ancient way of doing things. And this is the ancient whore of Babylon that you're dealing with. So anyway, that right there puts you in the capacity as postmaster, and that right there makes it so that that you have paid for this document, even though that's only a 3 cent. Now, if you get that other book, let me get that book. One fast one, but let me finish reading this again. Let's see here. This is where I put, right? John Quincy, or your name here. Revokes power of attorney from state of Hawaii, or from state of California, or from state of Idaho, or from state of Texas, or from whatever it is. All right, and I put it in all caps. All of its agents and employees, right? See, and I was going to put officer, but because I was going to put all of its, comma, officer, excuse me, all of its, and it's ITS, by the way, no apostrophe, officers, agents, and employees. But instead, I just put agents and employees because agents, officers can be agents, but agents can't be officers. Anyway, go look at that thing, right? Fewest words, just take the words out. So any agent, anybody that's acting as an agent, an officer can act as an agent, an employee can act as an agent, a man or a woman can act as an agent. You are agent for your corporation. And you have the right of proxy vote. You have the right of suffrage for your corporation. You can fire. You have the power of attorney. You are the authorized representative. Like I said, if you grab a checkbook and look at the bottom, you're the authorized representative for that corporation. I am the authorized representative. Well, actually, there were 2 on this account. See, that's cool. There you go. So for this savings account, see, and look at that. I mean, just way back in the day. This is from 1976. Notice, I love that seal right there. Back when we were still a territory, because you got to remember, we only made statehood in what, 59. So this was just a few years, 17 years after statehood. All right. But if you look in here, this certifies that. Certifies, verifies. Is it the same? Anyway, so certification. That's a whole. There's another word you need to look into. Certifies. Because I don't want a certified document. I want a verified claim. And it's not the same. That, and see, it's all caps with my initial, and then my mom, all caps with her middle initial. And those are the 2 people that are authorized on this account, other than the person that signed here, which was the head teller. And she was there for years. She only just recently retired, like just in the last couple of years. She did all my notaries when I was beefing with the IRS. She was also a notary, and she sent all the documents and notarized. And oddly enough, the IRS decided they're not messing with that because a notary is hugely powerful. But when you get smarter, you don't need a notary. You need your name and your fingerprint. That's what you need, and a raised seal and a date. Okay, so anyway, I revoked all power of attorney from state of Hawaii, its agents and employees. Also revoke any and all contracts with state of Hawaii. And I did that in lowercase, state of Hawaii, because like I said, the case doesn't matter that much. It really doesn't, because you're going to speak it in court and it sounds the same. And rescinds all marks, not and, period. And then another one, John Quincy rescinds all marks, Ben Hosea rescinds all marks, signatures, autographs made with this court. Right? Done. Caveman speak, right? Subject rescinds all marks, signatures, autographs made with this court, right? And I could probably take it off made with this court when you get right down to it. I just rescind all marks, signatures, and autographs. Ben Hosea requires signed orders for all future appearances. I require, right? I didn't say please. I didn't demand. I just said I require, right? Requires signed orders for all future appearances. Now, that's another thing. Require. That's a hugely important word. Right? It's what you require. And will, again, it's my will or it's my wish. It's my desire. And free will, right? And that's the other thing. I'm going to tell them I'm a free agent, right? Okay, I'm happy to carry out any and all orders for reasonable fees. And then in red on this document, because this document was written in purple ink, so you would know. And then that last line was written in red, so it draws attention to it. Fees for all appearances, $1 a second. Done. Not so many ounces of silver, not all the other stuff I've seen, and not a huge fee schedule where it just says, fees for unlawful detainment, fees that. Nope, just $1 Just you fuck with me, $1 Got a problem with that? Then you need to renegotiate. Oh, and then here was the other thing. And then, like I said, I put all the guys that I am authorized to represent on this side. I didn't put Crouton Ramon because it doesn't come into that. And then I put my name, my thumbprint. I don't need a freaking because you go common law, so you don't need the notary to make yourself seen. All right, let me show you one more thing, and I'm gonna grab this here. All right, he said, "Look, I found that instantly. My house is a mess, but get this." United States stamp duties containing all the acts of Congress and decisions of Commissioner of Internal Revenue relating thereto. And all this is Xerox pages or copied pages of these things. But in here, you're going to see that if you make an agreement with anybody, you got to put a 5-cent stamp on that motherfucker. When I can't, I know I won't find it immediately, but and I should have probably put a little asterisk next to it. But anyway, in the very beginning of this book, it basically tells you. Oh wait, there it is. Bill of exchange, bank check, agreements. Right? So then it tells you, what do you need? You need a 5-cent stamp. What do you need? 5-cent stamp, 10-cent stamp. Oh, 50, right? Okay, so anyway, the idea is, oh no, that's not right. That's the number on the thing. But anyway, 3, 2, 3, 5. But for agreements, you're going to need a 5-cent stamp. If you're going to write promissory notes and stuff, you're going to need to put a $1 stamp on that thing. But don't write promissory notes. Okay. So, okay, that's the letter I wrote. And then it's going to be variations on that very same theme to Secretary of State, to Attorney General, right? The top cop in the state. Both Attorney Generals, the federal Attorney General and the state Attorney General. Hey, I'm revoking your power of attorney. Hey, I am rescinding your contracts. Okay. How am I getting push notifications from Facebook when Facebook isn't even open? That's got to change. All right. Firefox just gave me a push notification that somebody, I don't want to know. Anyway, the point being is that variations on that theme are going to go to the Attorney General and say, hey, you got no power of attorney. I'm firing you, basically, right? You may not administer my estate without my consent. You no longer have authority or permission or jurisdiction to administer my estate. Quit fucking writing bonds, you bastards. Hey, that would be the Attorney General. Hey, Secretary of State, I'm in your, and I'm going to be surrendering my driver's license. Actually, I might keep my driver's license just in case I want to drive sometime. But I'm going to need another form of identification that reflects the fact that I am a man. Hey, IRS, by the way, I am the infant that you have there, but I'm now a grown man. I'm past the age of 25, and I reserve all my rights. And you need to know that I'm not decedent. So please change my status from decedent to non-decedent. Please make sure that my individual master file code reads MFR 01. And a few other things that you might want to let them know about, like you reserve your right to suffrage and you reserve all rights, right? And again, if you use that word include or including, inclusion of one thing is exclusion of another. So if you're going to use including, then you need to a modifying clause that says including but not limited to, or skip including and put particularly. Right, so you now all of the ones in that you're talking about, but particularly these and others, right? So you're not excluding. All right. What was the other thing? Okay. So then also you need to inform Secretary of State, get some ID so you can travel, right? Not drive, travel. In your state, and then you need to Secretary of State of United States Corporation. Hey, I need this passport so I can travel internationally, and it needs to reflect the fact that I'm a man, not a corporate thing. So I'm not applying for a passport for my allegiance. I'm not applying for a passport so that the corporation may move from place to place. I want ID that reflects the fact that a man is traveling. All right. So then you need to notice the Secretary of State and notice them, right? So that they notice you, so that they recognize you. Like I said, the words, you got to know what the words mean. So Secretary of State, you also might want to inform Donnie, the president of the United States Corporation, of a few things. Donnie might be happy to hear from you. And then you need to notify Secretary of the Treasury. Oh, by the way, I'm getting rid of this whole bullshit thing that you gave me and all these numbers that were given to me at birth before I was competent, before I knew what the fuck was going on. I couldn't even, wipe my own ass, and you guys are contracting with me. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works, right? But actually, that's exactly how this works. Your mommy puts you into bondage. Simple as that. Right? And in very rare cases, when the mother dies at birth, then generally it was the father, and then sometimes it was the attending physician that sold you into slavery. But either way, there's going to be a birth certificate there, and you need to know about birth certificates and certification and so forth. Right? And the difference between certify and verify. And the idea is that you need to let the Treasury know, I'm collapsing all these other bonds that you have on me, that you did without my consent, disclosure, knowledge, all those secret contracts and all that shit. Yeah, you're going to have to get rid of those because I'm no longer consenting now that I've found out about it. My ignorance was negligent, but I'm no longer being negligent, and you don't have the right to administer my estate. Now, if I want to tap in my one share, right? I claim my one share into this United States Republic. I'm a shareholder. I'm a stakeholder. See, because you used to go out and stake a claim, and they sent you, go west, young man, stake a claim, and then they, basically robbed the Indians of their land. But you had to stake a claim, and there are a lot of people that just ran out there, staked a claim, and they're wealthy to this day because but see, you had to be able to work the claim. So that's why in the old days, there'd be 14 children, and the more sons you had, the larger the claim you could stake because you could work the claim. Anyway, so you need to let the Treasury Department know, and not the Department of the Treasury. Start listening for the words of and so on. The Treasury Department, you need to let Mnuchin know in his capacity as the de jure Republic Treasury Department head dude. He needs to set you up an account so that you can access. And you want to take all the other stuff, as I've said in I don't know how many videos now. You need to square up is what you're doing. And you need to take your credits and debits and all the negotiable instruments. I'm going to be so happy when this tooth gets out of my head, I promise. But right now, it doesn't even hurt at all, but just huge amounts of saliva. But anyway, you need to take your, and it's distracting as fuck, your accounts and all the different things that you have, your certificates, your, look, do I have one here? I had one here. Yes, I do. All right. Here's my vehicle registration, or not, title, right? This is how they usufruct me, by giving me a title. And see, it's a certificate of title, and it has my name backwards here. And it only has my middle initial. So last name, first name, middle initial here. See? So that's why I had all four of them there, because there are other documents that I have from the government that it's last name, middle, or first name, and then my full first name, not just the middle initial. And then there's other documents like this one that's just middle initial. And then there's other documents that it's first, middle initial, and last. And then there's other documents that have first, middle initial, or not middle initial, the whole middle name and last name. So there's four people I represent. There's four persons I represent. I'm surrendering this title. Give me my fucking pink slips. And now my car is going to be like a farm tractor or whatever. And I am allowed to take my car, the conveyance of the day, and travel unencumbered, without license. The policeman on the side of the road are not going to understand any of that shit. So what you want to be able to do is have all this stuff ahead of time. You're not going to just be like, oh, okay, I can do that, and I'm just going to drive around. I don't consent. And then you're going to wind up with a billy club in your fucking head and probably spending some time on a cement slab while they wait for a magistrate to hear you. And then they're going to try and extract wealth from you. Because you don't just, all right, so I'm going to do it ahead of time, right? And I'm going to mention to the police department that don't give me documents like this. This is fraudulent conveyance language right here. Just that hyphen right there. Fraudulent conveyance language at the very top of this page. More fraudulent conveyance language because all this stuff is in boxes. And the only thing that's not in box is my signature trying to make me be a defendant. I'm not a defendant. I'm a man. But you're trying to make me. They're trying to trick you into signing that you're a defendant. Now, if you're a defendant, that's a legal status, it's a legal capacity, and they have authority and jurisdiction to do things to defendants. Oh, I've got notes here trying to cover this shit. And hopefully this one stays. I don't know if the first one will even be there. Because like I said, I've done videos and then I cut it and then it's just not there. Nothing happens. Like, just not there. And people are like, how come you deleted it? I didn't do nothing. Let's see here. Ooh, press claim. Gotta know that. Establish your will. Let's see here. Already talked about that. 3 types of bonds. 3 ways to testify. Various forms. And that's another thing. See, this is draft 1 of that one. And I have all kind of stuff. It's out of order, and I realize remind myself to revoke and put other stuff. And then in here, plaintiff is injured party, competent witness, right? Just got to stick that in my document. And then I took a whole bunch of words out that didn't need to be there. And I think that one book that I was reading, the table of contents, pretty telling. We were taught to use all kind of superfluous and extra words, and you need to remove them. Fewest words possible. Subject, me, og, right? You, corporation. Og, man. You, not man. Right? Just simple as can be. Okay. I think, am I done? Is this finally finished? I was going to do some scripture because it's Sunday. There's oh so much scripture to read. And again, that book just tells you how to deal with the man. It's the Babylonian, it's the Whore of Babel. It's the same bitch that's been enslaving you forever and ever since going back to Roman times. And you're confident this is your first life and so on. But no, you're probably enslaved, and now you're getting the opportunity to wake up to the fact and progress, right? But they had put you sound asleep. Your friends and relatives that are telling you, yeah, and I got so many people bitching me out. You didn't vote? What do you mean you didn't vote? This was the most important election in the history of ever. Yeah, I rescinded my voter registration, and I'm never going to vote in that corporation ever again. That corporation is designed to enslave, not to set free. Now, there are some people that have TDS, right? Republican TDS, which is just as bad as Democrat TDS. Your Trump derangement syndrome. Wherein you think Trump is going to set you free. Well, I'll tell you what, when you don't have to take your shoes off at the airport, and they don't have all these guys at the ports anymore, and where they're not trying to tell you to take a vaccine, and where really? Justin, for fuck's sake, wake up, you jackass. It's just painful at this point. The idea being that they're not there to set you free. That a whole corporation is there to enslave. That's what they do. They want you thinking that you're not a man or a woman. They're right. I know you do. So fucking start doing it. You still paying your fucking taxes? Here, my point is that I'm pretty confident that you fucking voted in that election, and Trump isn't gonna fucking set you free. Simple as that. That's my point. Yeah, there you go. But the idea is that because timing really is everything. But the point is that Trump isn't there to set us free. Trump is there to continue the New World Order, to get many of you to not fucking pick up your guns and point them at the magistrates, judges, bar card attorneys, and so forth that have come into this country with titles of nobility, esquire, and so forth, to enslave and entrap you in the most ridiculous word fair and grammar fair and take money from you, keep you, and if not only just take money from you, put you in fucking jail. Right? I had a girlfriend in San Francisco. You remember that bitch, Susan? They almost put that bitch in jail for parking tickets. She didn't park her car in the right place. They're going to take away her liberty for not fucking parking her car in the right place? Only if you're a fucking ignorant slave that doesn't know what the hell you're doing. Right? I mean, that's the bottom line. And see, back then, I didn't know any better either. We got the car back because I'm what's the word I want? Conniving is a good word, but I'm clever that way. Anyway, we went down to the auction and bought the car back for nothing. which was way cheaper than the bajillions of dollars in tickets that they had. But see, just parking your vehicle, right? Oh, it's a motor vehicle. It's not a car. Just fucking walking down the street trying to tell me to put a fucking mask on, right? And like I said, he looked at my ID and just, you could see his face. He like a little recoiled. He stepped away from me and handed back my ID. Right? I didn't fuck with him. I didn't be like, I ain't giving you my ID. You don't have no right to ask me for my ID. I wouldn't do anything wrong. And then fucking mask laws are not constitutional. And fuck that. The guy could have beat me up and thrown me in the back of the car. And he would have been well within his rights. I'm fucking jackass on the side of the road being stupid. All right. No, I showed him my ID, even though he didn't show me mine. Now, I already got him for I already got him for process violation right there. Supposed to introduce himself. I got him for fraudulent conveyance of language. Now that I know what that even means. I got him. They don't want me in court. Okay. My paperwork is not done, but I'm already at the point where I can see they don't want me in court. I went down at the prescribed time to the prescribed place, and they barred me from entry. Right? That's fine with me. I don't get in your fucking courts. They couldn't do anything to me about, right? They can't make a pronoun. If I'm not there, they can't say go arrest that man when I did show up. Get it? Okay. Anyway, the point being is, the whole tax code designed to extract wealth from you that you ain't part of that. You don't have any income from inside the United States because you don't. All your income is from without, and it's not income. Get them to fucking define income. They won't even define that word. Right? Ask them, what does income mean? And do I have any? Show me a contract. Wait a minute, I rescind all contracts. Wait a minute, I rescind all signatures. Hey, wait a minute, I was not competent at the time that you fucking bonded me. So I'm getting rid of those. Get it? Okay, paperwork to be done. How many videos have I made? There's paperwork to be done. You don't just stand on the side of the road not consenting. You don't just stand up in court and not consent. They can't even hear you. Right? You're talking and you think that they can hear you, but the judge will just, they're not ignoring you. They can't hear you. You don't have standing. Right? I want to get to the point where I have standing on basically my own nation when it comes down to it, my own sovereign thing of one, right? Because sovereignty, again, look up that word. Sovereignty is not an individual thing. For us, you can be a king or a queen or an emperor, but that's not us technically. Sovereignty isn't all of us. Sovereignty is in the people. It lies within the people, and we can delegate our authority to others to do legal business. I can't tell you to put a mask on, so ain't no fucking corporation that can tell you to put a mask on. I don't give a shit what your fucking mayor or governor says. They're outside their gubernatorial license. All right. So again, you want to be a gentleman. You're not going to sue them, even though I want to. You're going to sue their bonds. Get it? What? Holy crap! There's a whole bunch of stuff going on over here. Yeah, I'm not supposed to be. Yes, I know. This is what I try to tell my girlfriend too, but at this point, they're willfully asleep. You cannot fucking wake people up that are pretending to be asleep, right? I mean, and at this point, these motherfuckers can't figure out that they are censoring Facebook and YouTube. Freedom of speech. I don't know about you, but I grew up. You get to say what the fuck you want. I don't care if you agree with me, right? I'm never going to tell you you can't speak. I may disagree with you, but I will defend your fucking right to speak freely until the death. Even if every fucking thing coming out of your mouth, I don't agree with. Right? Those fucking skinheads up in Idaho. Fuck them. Right? Fuck those guys. But them speaking to me certainly isn't going to make me turn into a skinhead. Certainly isn't going to make me into a white power advocate. So let them fucking speak. Let them fucking speak. Let them fucking speak. Same thing with the Democrats. Let them fucking speak. Because they hang themselves constantly. Right? I mean, that's the idea. We're supposed to have free. They got them down to the point where they don't even fucking defend free speech. That first thing in the Bill of Rights. So, that first thing in the Bill of Rights, I got devices dying in the distance, like, and they're giving me warnings. But fuck it, I'll just plug it in later. But anyway, the idea is that, you can't stand up for your rights if you don't know what your rights are. You can't mention the treaties that contract called the Constitution was supposed to protect and uphold if you don't even fucking know what the treaties are. Simple as that. So, yeah, there you go. Same with me, though. I mean, I always be as fucking brainwashed as anybody else, right? Yay! I'm gonna go vote. Yay! I mean, absolutely. We went to slave school. And see, the thing that pisses me off when I was having this argument, well, not argument, this spirited debate with my girlfriend last night, is because she says the same thing, right? You can't be mad at these people and so forth. But the idea is, we're not humans. We're men and women. We're not the color of men and women. We are actual men and women, as opposed to the actors who do acts in court, who move things through court and make motions while they're going through the court, right? You got to understand how to navigate a court. And first things first, you don't want to go into court. What is a court? A court is a place you go to play games, word games. And these games that they have you, they will extract wealth from you. And if you're not careful, you may lose your liberty because they may cage you if you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And it's fucking annoying as hell. Yes, it's absolutely humiliating how fucking ignorant we were raised to be. And smuggerant. We're free, right? I'm American. Yay! 4th of July. Waving my fucking flag, having a few beers. Yay, America. Yay. No, it's U.S. person. I am yay America. Like, I know a lot of people, and see, this is where I diverge with some of the Moors and some of the other people that, they hate everything and they want to be all on their. No, I'm kind of believing in the ideals that our founding fathers put down about, we're all created equal. That doesn't mean we all have equal capacity, right? This guy over here, Justin, he can code better than I'll ever be able to code, right? I guarantee you I know a little bit more about law than that guy, right? Okay, so we don't all have, but we all are men and women. At that point, we are equal. Okay, after that, you want to be a good chess player, you want to be an engineer, you want to be a welder, you want to be a plumber, a carpenter, whatever the fuck it is, an auto mechanic, right? Right? I can fix a car, but I don't like to turn wrenches. So I'll just pay somebody to turn wrenches for me. And I had a friend, basically, he was probably the best mechanic I've ever met. He used to sit in an office in Texas with his feet up on the desk, snorting cocaine in a Lamborghini dealership. And when they got a thing, and they were paying him like $250,000 a year, that was Ken. When they got a car that they couldn't fix, they brought it to him. And he was like an idiot savant. Like, I don't remember if you mean Chico and the Man, but I mean, like, he could fix a car. He could listen to it run, and he knew what was the problem, and he would fix it. And he was magic like that. And overall, they kept him around just for those cases. Okay. The idea, so no, he wasn't created equal with other mechanics, right? He was a fucking crackerjack. Like that story about the guy that comes in and listens, and then he like taps a certain place, and then he sends a bill for like $10,000 or whatever. And like, you spent 5 minutes there and you tapped. And he's like, coming to your thing, dollar. Using such and such tool, $2. Knowing the right place to tap, $10,000. Anyway, the idea being is that we're all men and women, all men and women that went to slave school because they're smart enough not to fucking educate us on how to throw the system down. I mean, for God's sake, that right? When I figured out that, I'm slow. I may be small, but I'm slow. When I figured out that this was debt, they pay us in fucking debt? What? That's when I just went, okay, I need to wake the fuck up and educate myself. Now, here's the thing. So you're considered to be an expert in dealing in debt because you use these things every day. So you should be expert in it, right? No, you don't have any fucking clue how money works in this country because they didn't educate you on that. You don't know how credit works. You don't know how debt works. You don't know, well, maybe some of you guys do, but overall, most people don't have a fucking clue, right? Okay, so the idea being is that you need to educate yourself, well, one, so you can educate others, but mostly you don't even fucking bother educating others. But while you're ignorant, you are negligent. And see, that was the argument I was having is, well, how am I negligent when, like I said, if I had a big following, if that number right there was, right now it's 9, if that number right there was 20,000, they would come through that fucking door and blow my head off, and you all fucking know it, right? And for fuck sure, that wouldn't even get to that point because they wouldn't even let me on YouTube. Right, but because I'm not a tall poppy and nobody fucking watches this, right? Okay, so how the fuck is that ignorance is negligence? Because if you try to remove the ignorance, they kill you. Literally. Dan Meador. I can name all manner of people, right? And if they don't do that, they'll try and cage you. Try to get you to hang yourself with your own words, right? But see, we're waking up slowly but surely. Carl Lentz was starting to figure out, rather than write Oh wait, this is my huge, voluminous amount of notes. There you go. Find me one that has it. All right. What a fucking dumbass. Right? Oh, and this one doesn't even have the stamp on it. But I mean, look at all that. And I got cites in their codes, which immediately tells them that I'm in their jurisdiction if I'm citing their codes in my documents. And I got all kind of shit. And then look on the bottom. Look, I got the notary from the, right? Okay. And then there's a seal. And this is the original document. So there's the raised seal. And this didn't go in the, oh, I don't know why. Let me find another one. All right. Here's another one with huge, actually, it's the same document. And it's got the numbers and all this stuff. And you can see it's been filed. And again, how thick is that, right? As opposed to, we're getting better. As opposed to one page. And then notice, legal, right? Oh, right? As opposed to letter. Okay. And then, oh, the green jacket. Like I said, when that bailiff saw my, and I should have had a letter that I could have handed, and not, I mean, hindsight, always 20/20. I should have had another document similar to the other one that I could hand to the assistant attorney general. Notice to agent is notice to principal, letting him know he's fired, his boss is fired, they're all fucking fired. Take this back and put it in your whatever. Don't put it in your circular file though. You've been noticed that a man is standing here, right? Not a corporation. Anyway, but the point being is we're getting better and better, right? Knowledge is coming. And here's the thing. Those of us that have come before, and again, I'm not a fucking armchair guy anymore. I'm not a guy sitting here on the internet that watched YouTube videos and read a bunch of books and stuff. I've been in the fucking courts now. I have dealt face to face with these officers now, right? Not out there telling you, oh, don't consent. No, I didn't fucking consent. And did I get beat up? No, I didn't get beat up because I wasn't being a dick. I wasn't being a dick. Right? The guy asked me for ID. I asked him for his ID. He didn't show it to me. I didn't ask for all the other documents. Okay, so and this is the other thing. I'm going to send this in and say, if I'm in error, please let me know that I'm in error. And again, it's not the job of the government to keep the citizen from falling into error. It is the job of the citizen to keep the government from falling into error. That is a tenet. All right, so let me find that. All right, boom, first thing I find. All right, so there's this right here. All right. There's another risk management. You motherfuckers need to know that you guys out here are out there making offers without using fraudulent conveyance language. And see, I'm going to copy this and point out where it's fraudulent conveyance language. And I'm going to cite the Chicago Manual of Styles, ask them for their styles manual. But that risk management, no. You keep this up, you're going to get sued. Somebody's going to sue you. I might be the guy, right? You violate my rights, I'm going to come after you. Not you, your bonds, right? I'm a gentleman. I would never come after you, right? I would never sue Justin. I would sue his bonds, right? Assuming he had a public office where I could sue those bonds. All right. But the idea being is that, right? So in exchange for my driver's license or identification or registration or any other fucking piece of information, you need to give me yours too. Who the fuck are you? Right? That one. What the fuck is this? Who the fuck are you? Anyway, so they need to provide an identification card, a badge number, and a business card, right? And then a bond number. Every cop I talk to doesn't even understand they have bonds. Just like I didn't understand I have bonds. Because what? They're just guys like you and me trying to do the fucking right thing. Right? They're fucking pirates and they're thieves, but they're just trying to do the right thing. I mean, I would never become a police officer. And I have many friends that were police officers from the time we were 18. Right after high school, they got out of, and that was the first thing they wanted to do. Went to the police academy and became cops. Because they were going to serve their community and they were going to make their mom and dad proud. Right? Okay. And it's a shit job that's shit. Right? You got to deal. I mean, I know guys. Who will pause. Very close friends. Police officer took his service revolver, put it right there, and pulled the trigger because he couldn't fucking take it anymore. By the grace of God, the bullet went in one side and out the other side, and I can still talk to this guy today. He's not quite the same, but he's mostly the same. His eyes do strange stuff because the fucking bullet went right through the nerve. But I mean, these guys. And then they beat their wives. You know that by violence because they take it. They're alpha males mostly, and that pent up rage and energy from their job has to come out somewhere. And then the wife triggers them, or the girlfriend triggers them, and you know the story. And they can get away with it because they're police officers and so forth. But that still doesn't mean that all cops beat their wives, and that still doesn't mean that all cops are right. Okay, because as soon as you start going every one of them, you're already going down a road that you shouldn't go down. But anyway, they don't know that they have a bond number. When I interrupted myself again, they don't know that that they have a bonding company, right? And that's one thing I said as I was walking away from those guys. Oh, actually, that's not true. Okay, so later on, we're in Wailuku. Wailuku is the county seat here on Maui. That's where the courts and all the other state building and the county building and the federal courts and the federal building's gone. It's a parking lot. I mean, it's literally a parking lot now. But anyway, the main post office here, the big fat post office here is in Wailuku. Everything's in Wailuku. All right. The comic book store is also in Wailuku, and my son wanted to go to the comic book store. All right. So we cruised down to the comic book store, and I don't go into the stores that require me to wear a mask to look at their fucking comic books. So I didn't go in, but he wanted to go in, so he put his mask on, and he went in. So I was sitting outside in the sun, beautiful Maui day. Like I said, hot as fucking hell down there. And the district attorney the district. He's an attorney. I know he's got a bar card, but that's not the office that he holds. His actual office is He's the assistant attorney general. That's it. Because your attorney general, that's a whole other office, right? He's not from the prosecutor's office. This is because of the state, because of the schools. Anyway, it was the assistant attorney general. Anyway, the guy that had chickened out 2 times previous, because like I said, once I told them that I knew that they weren't a de jure, and that I had the documents that showed that they were not a tax exempt corporate and blah blah not for profit and all that stuff, and the IRS didn't recognize them, which told me that right now I figure out, oh, this is an administrative agency. If the court is trying to trick me into thinking that they're de jure, but actually they're de facto. Anyhow, he came strolling by. And he saw me, and he looked beat too. Like I said, that Friday, the courts had a bad time on Maui. They withdrew from me. There was another case going down in the circuits that I didn't know the guy, but and a good-looking, oh my fucking God, a good-looking hot chick in a business suit, pantsuit kind of thing, and she was rocking it. I mean, rocking it. Apparently was the lawyer and so forth. And he was standing. Anyway, long story short, I kind of overheard. Well, I couldn't miss overhearing his conversation. He was found not guilty on whatever the fucking charge was there. That other lady had just got. Guzman is probably going to be that's the head prosecutor for the county of Maui. He's probably going to get removed from his post because of this woman. I mean, they had a bad day Friday. And see, this is what's happening. We're getting educated. We're starting to figure out these motherfuckers are doing the things that they're doing. Right? And like I said, I'm no longer armchair. I've been to the courts. I've talked to the cops. I know the sheriffs. Right? And I am going to go back down to that freaking court building as soon as we can take the mask off, because I'm not going to put my mask on just to go talk to my friend. But he's got 3 stripes on his arm. He is the sergeant. And I know the other guy, he's a lieutenant that's sniffing. I know all these guys. Right? Madero's sniffing. Rodriguez. Not Rodriguez. Rodriguez. Emmett. I went to school with these guys since we were like fucking 10. Right? Okay. We're going to sit and I'm going to hand him a document. I'm like, motherfucker, you come and try to order me around. You know me, right? I fucking scrapped these guys when we were in school, in high school, right? I mean, we've thrown punches at each other. We know each other, right? So the idea being is that you try to come at me with fucking paperwork and you know I'm going to come after you. Right? So let your friends know. I'm not going to sit here and just let you guys tell me to fucking put a mask on. I'm not going to let you tell me that I got to fucking register my car and have usufruct of my own fucking vehicle. And if you fuck with me, you know I'm going to fuck with you back. Right? And that's the only thing they understand is you taking money out of their pocket. Because you can't beat them with guns. You can't beat them with clubs. They got all the guns and clubs. And if you beat one guy in a fair fight, he will send all his friends and relatives, known as sheriffs and police officers, and fucking if it gets serious enough, marshals and so on, right, to come beat your ass and either kill you and take you away, or not kill you and still take you away, or whatever, slave. Right? Okay. So what you need to understand is pen mightier than sword. All right, and you need to be cordial about it, because, like I said, in every situation, I have been totally cordial. I got a little pissy in court one time when I said I found out about these months, and they could tell in my voice that I was no longer the subservient, happy guy to be in their courtroom, right? But you want to be cordial. Yeah, sure, I got an ID, right? Not, oh, you don't have the right to ask me. Fuck you, just show me your ID, right? What did Jesus tell you? What did Jesus tell you in the book, right? It's Sunday. What did Jesus tell you? Go with them. You put up no fight. He wasn't like, you ain't crucifying me. No, he just went with them. Okay, so the idea is, if they ask you, you might say something like, you got an ID? Why? Well, because you should identify yourself to me first. Okay, so no, fine. They don't do it. Great. You got a process violation right there. They give you one of these fucking tickets where they try to make it, okay, you got fraudulent conveyance of language right there. You're happy. It's like the fucking Trumpers. Like, I don't understand why you guys aren't fucking celebrating. You guys should be doing backflips. Because these guys got stone cold busted. There's a motherfucker. Go look, Justin, go look at all the Hammer and shit, it's not Periscope, Scorecard and Dominion, and there was another one that I just heard of that I didn't even know anything about, and I got to do some research on it, and it's like Smart, I can't remember, but anyway, the idea is Donnie is a fucking genius. I don't give a shit what anybody says. The man's a genius. He's genius enough to surround himself with genius and artistic nerds. They knew they were cheating. They backdoored the backdoors on the backdoors, right? So they know who was using the software to flip the votes. They know the software is being used. And in the next 30 days, what is this? This is the 15th. So on the 14th, Donald Trump will be declared president of the United States one more time. The fucking Democrats are going to freak the fuck out. Yes, it's going to be biblical. I would get your powder dry. I'm not fucking around here, right? Texas, probably not such a problem. Here in Hawaii, not such a problem. But there's going to be certain places where there may be some flare-ups, and there may be some disruptions. So I just got back from Costco and bought lots and lots of provisions, right? Just snacks and popcorn. So I can eat popcorn while I'm watching this nonsense unfold. But me was you. Oh, and sausages. I got this sausage that there's something wrong with the sausage, because I don't crave steak. I don't crave venison. I don't crave a lot of things. But every once in a while, I got to have one of those sausages. So there's got to be some chemical in there that makes you want it. But the idea is maybe you want to stack up with some foods. I've said this numerous times, because I don't think there's going to be that much of a problem, but there could be a problem, right? Because I expect the Democrats that are sitting there going, well, now that we've cheated and we won, we have to heal and move forward, right? Right? I mean, oh my God. And these are people I've known since high school, right? I mean, some of these just want to, right? I mean, oh my God, you fucking whores. Steal an election and then pretend like you didn't steal an election and then tell us that we have to heal. The fuck is wrong with you? Anyway, the chances are that we have some turbulence, right? What do you say? One word. Oh, but yeah, I mean, just right. These guys are going to freak the fuck out, and a lot of their leadership and a lot of these guys that were doing the stealing and so forth. 200 ballots was 20 years, so what's 1,000 ballots? And what's general sedition and election fraud when you flip thousands or millions of votes using the software? The people that are responsible, I don't think they're just going to go to jail, right? I know. Well, no, because we're not on BitChute, you dork. Dude, you're supposed to be the computer nerd. No, you can't put pictures in. You can send it to me by email, though. But the idea being is that, yeah, we've got crazy shit going on here that is going to be exposed. And I'm telling you for a fucking fact that some of these guys are not just going to go to prison. They're going to be executed. Like, if there is a God, and I believe there is, some of these people are going to be executed. So the Democrats are even more going to be gnashing their teeth. and Biden's son and many others in the Biden crime family are going to be going away to the big house. He ain't getting the White House. He's going to the big house. A lot of other Democrats that are responsible for a lot of nefarious shit and traffic and so forth, they're also going to go down. Many people in the pharmaceutical industry also going down. Okay, so because what you have here is the two sides, right? The left-hand path and the right-hand path inside that corporation known as United States. Okay, and okay, now we're in a field of absolute conjecture and conspiracy theory, and I'm just talking out my ass. But the idea is that, how do I put this without sounding like a complete crazy person? Okay, Donnie used to be a Democrat, if you recall. He gave lots of money to Democrats. He rubbed elbows with the Democrats, and he saw how filthy the Democrats were. But he got to know them. Same thing with Epstein. Same thing with a lot of these guys. You got to see how they operate, the trafficking that they do, the business that they're in, which is the business of control. And the way they get that control is with blackmail and with control files, wherein you do untoward things with minors, and on and on and on. And he saw all of this, and then he said, all right, we got to do something about this. Right? I'm not having it. We're going to, right? Okay, so him being a billionaire decided to do something about it. I make a few videos now and then, 6 people watching. I make this much difference, right? My fingers aren't even apart, right? But Donnie, he's making that much difference because there's a lot of people that are waking up. How many Democrats do you know that voted for Donald Trump? I don't know any Republicans that voted for Biden, but I know lots and lots of Democrats that have been previous Democrats. And I went to go talk, again, not in the armchair, went down to the freaking Trump flag waving thing here and talked to, most of them were former Democrats. This was not the Republican Party showing up down there. Most of those guys, up until this election, had always considered themselves to be Democrats. We're in the state of Hawaii. We're on Maui. This is Democrat Central right here, right? You don't know anybody that was a Republican that voted. Okay, so the bottom line is these people are waking up left and right. Okay, and as this guy, Justin, is talking about, yeah, one of the things, and see, they're teaching the sleeping masses and waking them up slowly. You don't elect your president. Electors do, right? Not me and you. So giving up my voter registration, that's just a freaking, what's the word I want? Exercise in futility, because you don't elect the president. That's a polling place. You're not an elector. The electors still haven't met. The electors haven't decided what they're going to do. Well, technically, I know what they're going to do, and so do you. The quote-unquote 5 states that are up for grabs, every one of them has a Republican legislature. Every one of them is going to go Trump. Not one of them is going to go, well, I guess we're going to go for Biden. Because they know that their constituents would fucking come down to wherever the hell they are, pull them out of office, and fucking kill them in the street, probably. We're at that point. People, I mean, emotions are high. The Democrats have shown that they are violent, looting, burning, pillaging, fucktardian losers. The Republicans have pretty much shown that, yeah, they can get together a million at a time, and oddly enough, no buildings burn. It's mostly peaceful, except for the BLM and Antifa guys that try to show up and start shit. And then they are dealt with rapidly by Proud Boys, or whoever else happens to be there, because you got to provide your own security. Cops aren't going to do anything. But the idea being is that overall, yeah, they didn't even leave litter behind, right? That's the difference. And anybody that can't see the difference between Republicans and Democrats going out and protesting is ridiculous. Like this woman, I fucking called her a cunt right there on my Facebook page. I'll probably get banned for that, but fuck her. She's trying to say that the Republicans are just as violent and what do you call it, the Democrats. Evidence does not support that statement. Anyway, so the idea being is that coming up here very shortly, you're going to see the Democrats are going to freak the fuck out. Because why? And because they're ignorant. Because they have access to this, but they would never tune into this. They can barely tune into Fox News. They watch CNN and MSNBC and all that quote-unquote mainstream media who lies to you using the public airways. And if you don't fucking think that those licenses are going to get revoked, I think you should think again. Stop it. You're distracting me. Okay. Are we at that point again? Because no, there was a while here where you couldn't fucking buy a roll of toilet paper. I don't know how much I got, but I'm not certainly not running down to anywhere to go get toilet paper. I've got one of those big cases that you get from Costco, sitting in the back, and then which is my normal thing, and then I got a whole bunch more rolls of toilet paper on top of that. And my woman is in Fiji, so I don't go through toilet paper. Right, women, I don't know what the fuck, what the fuck, chicks. I mean, I don't know how you guys use so damn much toilet paper in a day. But anyway, apparently I'm not doing it right, or you guys do. I don't know what. But anyway, I noticed that when my girlfriend's not around, the toilet paper lasts a lot longer. But really, there's runs on paper products again because there's going to be a revolution. So you need to wipe your ass. Okay. You are just the most ridiculous. I'd buy a few can of these instead. I'd get some, dried fruit. I'd get what else did I buy? Oh, pasta. Pasta. Dry stuff. I almost bought a big bag of macaroni, but I was like, fuck, it's going to take me forever to eat that much macaroni, right? It's like, I don't want to eat. I mean, anyway, but I was going to put it in jars and store that. But I mean, get yourself some damn food for the next at least 90 days in case some shit happens. I don't think shit's going to happen, honestly, except for, various pockets here and there. They may freak out in Seattle. They may freak out in Portland. They may do some freakouts in maybe, any Democrat-held place, Chicago or LA or so on. I think you're going to find out, I can't prove this at the moment, but I think you're going to find out that Trump is doing the Sun Tzu wild thing. And while you guys are all looking at Minnesota and Wisconsin and Arizona and shit, California is going to flip. There's 55 electoral votes. I've seen stuff, again, can't verify it, where Trump got like 410, like 410 to 128 or something like that, where he absolutely just fucking decimated this guy, and they tried to make him seem like it was close. And I can't believe that Trump supporters, like most Trump supporters, don't even believe it. Right? This was not close. This race was not close. This was not even fucking close, except for cheating. But the idea being is that I think that California is going to flip. I just have this gut feeling that California is going to flip red. Maybe not, maybe, but I pretty much guarantee that California. And again, I wasn't there this time, but the last time I was in California, you couldn't find a Hillary Clinton sign. In very, very, in the most, like up in North Hollywood and all the neighborhoods, the bedroom communities around LA. I was driving around there because of the job that I do. I'm driving to people's houses, teaching math and shit like that. And as I'm driving through these communities, no yard signs for Hillary Clinton. Anecdotal evidence, I didn't see it with my own eyes, but I just know people in LA, and they're saying, yeah, Trump signs every fucking way. Everywhere. Trump signs all over the fucking place. In California. Trump signs, there's still Trump signs here. I can take you down the street. Blows my mind. In Makwa. On Maui. In Democrat Central. Biden didn't flip fucking Arizona. Biden didn't flip North Carolina. Biden didn't flip Georgia. Biden didn't flip a fucking thing, right? Cheaters did. And they're going to get busted. So, like I said, be of good cheer. This is going to happen. You got 30 days. Wictor basically told you 3 acts. The guy's a reality TV star, for fuck's sake, people. So he understands drama and excitement and so forth, and teaching the people using the media and so forth, so that they begin to understand kind of how this thing works, right? But the idea is, what? Really? Didn't know. But that could be a clue right there, because I'm telling you, California's going to flip. I just have that feeling. 55 electoral college votes are going to go for Trump right there. The long story short is the guy won in a landslide. They tried to cheat it. There's going to be a bunch of Democrats. It doesn't fucking matter what you show them. They're going to be like, well, Trump cheated. Because they got it exactly upside down, because that's the point of Operation Mockingbird. You got to understand, the CIA and them guys that are doing the mind control on the, okay, did it work on everybody? It worked on some of us for a little while, but one by one, we're all starting to wake up, right? You being here is clue that you are starting to wake up, because they can't even hear this. I start talking like this, and they're going to tune out. That guy's crazy. That's conspiracy theory. Fuck him, blah, blah. They're not even going to listen. Right? Meantime, I have gone to Democrat pages or gone to Democrat things and listened to them talk, and they sound like fucking retarded children. Infants. Right? Oh, he didn't cheat. Oh, Biden's going to be so happy when Biden gets in this, and this. No. most of the problems that we have, like who did criminal justice reform? Oh yeah, that was Donald Trump. Who was he reforming? The 1994 crime bill that Biden fucking wrote. One of the bigger whores ever in the history of ever, Kamala Harris, withholding information from courts. See, you can learn the words in the legal dictionary. What kind of, got a mouthful of spit, sorry. Exculpatory evidence. She makes it so that, men that were innocent, men and women that were innocent were going to go to jail so that she can look good as a prosecutor when she knew they were innocent. What a fucking whore. You want that for vice president? And that's just the beginning. Heels up Harris. That's just the beginning of it. But no, you listen to the Democrats, and geez, that's the greatest thing. Even though she was like less than 2% and had to drop out of the freaking primaries early, primaries early, the Democrat primaries, less popular than pretty much every. I think she was fucking less popular than Yang. But anyway, the idea is that they're putting on a fabulous show. This season of Fortress America is off the his hook, and Trump understands Act One. That was the election and all the 5 fucking rallies a day, and he's getting 30, 40, 50, 100,000 people at a time, 5 times a day. Like Ron Paul, maybe he got once a month, maybe. Bernie, once every couple of weeks, he could do that. But Trump was doing it 5 times a day, every day there for a while there. Right? And 2 or 3, I mean, and that was with the Rona, and that was with every kind of restriction, and governors trying to tell him that he couldn't fucking, peaceably assemble and so forth. Unbelievable. And still people believe that somehow Biden, who stayed in his basement and whose policies are shit, and more shit, and for the most part, he wouldn't even talk about his policies because they were so shit, somehow got the Democrats to rally out and try to come out and get rid of Trump because they believe the narrative that everybody hates Trump. Wherein he is the first president ever to hold a rally and have the crowd chant at him 30 or 40 or 50,000 strong, we love you, right? Never happened in the history of ever. We love you, right? I like Ike. It didn't say we love Ike. It said I like Ike. I mean, there has never been a president like this. There's never been a guy that got 70 million votes, and it certainly wasn't Biden. And I think he probably got 80-something million votes. And out of that 80 million people, most of them are armed. and not with 38s. So, and even if it was just 38s, that would be that is the largest standing army ever in the history of ever. And again, to mollify that standing army, they're going to put because I guarantee you, if they tried to install Biden, they'd have problems that they couldn't solve with the United States military. I mean, straight up, right? We didn't beat rice farmers in fucking Vietnam. You think you're going to beat Americans armed with every manner of weapon? And there are many, many, well, we won't even go into it, but there are many, many, many militias out there that are well armed with, especially the ghettos, automatic weapons. Because I've talked to people now, not like this, not in person, but that basically, yeah, they got automatic weapons. They got weapons in the hood that we can't get as regular, and they kind of, the way they get them, it's very clear that they want these guys armed and shooting at each other. Because once again, if they're selling drugs and they got gang wars over who gets what territory and so forth, and they're shoot Bloods and Crips or whoever the fuck it is, and now we got Mexicans in the mix and so on, they're doing this, they're not doing that. Every time I make a video, almost every time I make a video, you hear that. And that's 100% because of lockdown. We didn't have that before lockdown. 2-3 times a day now. Used to be like once a day. Before that was like once in a while you'd hear it. But now it's every fucking day, multiple times a day, right? Because humans don't do well under these conditions. But the idea is, we got interesting times coming ahead, and if you are a Republican and still in that paradigm, celebrate, because Biden ain't getting in, and a lot of the bad guys, because it's my contention, there ain't no good guys in this fight, but a lot of the really bad guys, the guys that were doing vote rigging, the guys that are they're going to prison. They're going away. And if you want to hear some conspiracy theory, here's some straight up conspiracy theory. is these guys would rather be put in prison for treason and sedition and vote fraud and so forth, which is why they were so blatant about it, rather than being called out for being child traffickers, child rapers, Satanists, Luciferians, and the monsters that they are. And see, once you kill them for treason, that probably will end all investigation. Or there might be some stuff like Jimmy Savile after he died. Well, yeah, certain things came out, but yeah, who cares, right? So after they're dead and after they've been put to death for treason, so what? Yeah, they're involved in child trafficking, but they weren't. But it wasn't the sensationalism of them being put to death for child trafficking, for slaving, for that stuff, right? So yeah, a lot of them did blatant cheating on a huge scale, so that when they got caught, they'd be put to death for that, not for raping children. That's just conspiracy theory. It's a theory. It's plausible. How probable, I don't know. But I'm telling you, you're going to see a lot of death. I don't think Hillary's going to. And see, this is the other thing. They're using. They're going to be using law wherein they cannot just do. I wrote it down. Deodams. They're going to have to pay with a pound of their own flesh. But normally what they're used to doing, because it's corporate and because they understand the laws and so on, is just a deodam. Right? Rape that children, all right, fine, I'll pay a fine. Right? But I'm not going to prison because there are no, right, for those charges. So they're going to have to get them under, this is why I'm trying to change my status, because I want to be able to stand up and accuse. I don't have the status to accuse. I don't have the status to accuse these fuckers in the court that modified my bonds, as it turns out. So I cannot allege fraud at the moment because I don't have standing to allege fraud. But when I change my standing, then I am going to allege fraud. But guess what? In the meantime, I can notify people in the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, and various other people that, hey, you might want to look at these bonds. And hey, IRS, I bet you they're not paying taxes on those bonds. And see, Honey Badger, he don't care you got a black robe on. He don't care if you're a mother of four. He don't care if you're Al Capone. Honey Badger don't give a fuck. Pay your damn tax if they think you owe it. All right. So I think that you're going to see that some of these guys are not going to be able to get around it because they're going to use maritime salvage, military. What is it? It becomes it becomes military. It's no longer civil. It's the United States defending itself against domestic or foreign enemies using some of these laws. And now DOD doesn't get you out of it. Now you can be executed. Now you can, right? So I think there's gonna be a change in their tactics, and some of those guys are gonna wind up at Gitmo. And anyway, it's gonna be fucking awesome. Be of good cheer. Be happy. Things are going fucking awesome when it comes to draining the swamp. Trump's gonna get back in, and you want to see some shit? Wait till this guy. He's gonna be a lame duck president. Wait till he fucking gets back in. I can't wait to see what else this guy does. Because I'm not going to say he's a man of the people, but as I've said numerous times, many of his goals and agendas line up with the common man's goals and agendas. So the common man has in Trump I'm not going to say, has somebody that will, I can't say it. I can't make the words come out of my mouth because Trump ain't on your side. But it's not as bad as the rapers like Biden and Harris or fucking Bush and Bush should be another clue, right? Bush comes out like, oh, Biden, right? Wasn't he supposed to be on the other side of the fence? Is he fucking making out practically with Mike? Michelle Obama, Dick Boy. First lady. Or former first lady. Because they're all on the same team, and this made it very clear to anybody that was paying attention is that the Bushes were on the same team. The Clintons were on the same team. Biden is definitely on the same team. And Trump ain't on that team, right? He really isn't on that team. But it's the same fucking corporation. Like I said, and that corporation is made to enslave. So yeah, Trump's over here. Oops, got a D. Notice how left-hand path, right-hand path. I did that on purpose. Wigmores, these are Wigmores. Trump is over here. I don't even know where to put him. He's over here someplace. Right? And no, he is not part of it. But at the same time, this overlap isn't enough to he's not restoring the republic. Let's put it this way. He's not going to get you guys all to be like, okay, we're not U.S. persons anymore. We're men and women. And yeah, we want to be part of the United States Republic and we're state citizens and all those fucking millions and millions of statutes that you use to extract wealth from us every fucking day of the week no longer apply. Yeah, no, he's not doing that. And I'm pretty sure that he made a deal with the pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, you give us most favored nation status and you give us the cheapest rates when it comes to drugs, and I'll give you vaccines out the wazoo. And you know how much money they make on those stupid vaccines for this thing that's got a 99.97% survivability rate called the Rona that we're not even allowed to talk about on YouTube or any other place that is social media owned by the big boys. Because it should be very, very clear that that ruse was a ruse. And just because your grandma got it, and just because you know somebody that got it, and you may have even gotten it, doesn't mean it wasn't a ruse. Yes, there is a thing going around, apparently, that can make you sick and may even kill you. You know, what is it? 9997, which means 0.03 abouts. Yeah, that wasn't enough to put a mask on, shut the country down. On my island, I don't know if you remember, but Front Street used to be a lovely place to go, shops and restaurants, and lots of art galleries, and world famous artists would come and show off, and sometimes they'd paint their sculptures and stuff. Gone, boarded up. It's a ghost town. San Francisco, same. LA, same. Downtown Chicago, same. Miracle Mile made me sad. Fifth Avenue in New York. I mean, just over and over. What did they do? They were gutting this system, getting rid of the middle class. I've said it before. I'll say it again. And Trump is overseeing it. Yeah, this. Okay, so oops. All right, so. There is the lower class, there is the middle class, there is the upper class. So there's up and lower, right? So that's upper class, middle upper class, lower upper class. Okay, they're getting rid of that. Simple as that. So you're either going to move up or you're going to go down. For the most part, you're going down. And here in Hawaii, it's become very clear. We're going to have haves and have-nots. We're going to have people that have their lawns cut, right? And houses cleaned, and we're going to have people that cut lawns and clean houses. But the middlemen are going to disappear. The people that had businesses, the people that had restaurants, the people that had shops and so forth, gone. Now, is it going to come back? I don't know. But it's not coming back next week, and it's not coming back in Trump's presidency. Some of this shit's going to take years. And then we have this other minor detail that some of you guys might want to pay attention to. Is the fact that even without the Rona and even without all of that, this thing right here was collapsing. And now it's definitely going to collapse. Our fiat currency, what year was it? I'll put it there. Is when we got off the gold standard. Count forward. Average life of a fiat currency is 41 years. We are past the 41-year mark, and the only reason why we made it is because we had most favored nation status. We had the world reserve currency, and we abused the power. And now it's trillions and trillions of these things. So the unwind isn't going to take place. It's going to happen quickly when it finally happens, when the house of cards finally collapses. But the unwind is going to take quite a while because it's like trillions and 20. 30, 40, 50, 100, 200 trillion dollars is going to take a little while to unwind. And when it does, you're going to want to have gold and silver, particularly silver. But the idea is that, the whole thing was collapsing anyway, and they had a nice cover. Not our fault. It's the Rona. Right? Always plausible deniability is part of their thing. Right? Not our fault. It was a disease in Hawaii. Oh, we didn't mean to kill off all the Hawaiians. We didn't mean to enslave them and take their land. It was a kind of an accident. We just, us white guys, we were all immune, and the Hawaiians weren't immune, and now they're all dead. Yeah, cool story, bro. What they did was introduce all manner of pathogen and wipe out a populace. They're going to do the same to you. And what they figured out, because now we get back into the conspiracy theory, is that They inject you with all this shit, and then when the day comes, you will be more susceptible, not less susceptible to the release of whatever it is that finally gets you. But they've shown this even in military studies, where some of the boys got vaxxed up, and they were more susceptible to certain pathogens, not less. And then they can just blame it on the pathogen. We didn't kill you off. You just died because you had a bad immune system, right? Yes, the FRN is definitely going bye-bye. Yeah, well, see, it is, but it is, but it isn't, right? But yes, they mean to get rid of. Yes, absolutely. See, and this is the problem. The Democrats haven't figured this out. They think that the fucking government is there to protect them. That they're telling them to put a mask on because they want to protect you. That they're making vaccines because they want to protect you. That hurts. I couldn't say that with a straight face. But the idea is that, they mean to rule us. They absolutely, Donnie also means to rule us. Of the two, he is definitely the lesser evil, but still evil. And I'm not going to say, I don't think Donnie's actually evil, as in Luciferian Satan worshiper. I think he really does give a shit about children, and it makes him sick, like it makes me sick, that these children are being raped and trafficked and so forth. And he decided to fucking try to do something about it. And then he found out that not everybody's on his team. Not everybody's on his side. He fucking, see, and that's the other thing. I've seen this and I've heard this. I'm just going to repeat other things that I've heard from other people, and I've watched so much of it, I don't exactly know which person said this. But the bottom line is, he was used to being in corporate America, and you tell an underling to go do XYZ, and underling does X, Y, or Z, or they're fired. In the government, some of these deep staters, hey, I want you to release this information. I'm not going to release the information. What do you mean you're not going to release the information? Well, blah, blah. Okay. So you start to find out where the deep staters are. You start to find out that guy that was in charge of CISPA, SCISPA, was a wanker. You find out that the chick in charge of the CIA was a wanker. FBI was a wanker. So Ray's going to be gone. CIA, Department of Defense, Esper, he's gone. Right? It took a while to figure out who these people were and start, because Trump, I say it again, 4 nominations for Peace Prize because he keeps negotiating peace deals and trying to get our troops out of Afghanistan, and he runs into fucking flack from Democrats and Republicans that don't want to give up those lucrative contracts. And that was Veterans Day just went by. I was fucking some veterans. I want you to understand that I have family members on the wall of that fucking Vietnam memorial, right? They're all gone. The rice farmers are still there. One of them was an Eagle Scout. Not directly related, but one generation back, right? My grandmother's brother's son. Many of my family members went to go fight in Vietnam. But what was that? That was selling helicopters for Bell and Hell. That was selling helicopters. That was the new thing, right? The helicopter warfare. Helicopters cost money to make and manufacture, and they needed war to generate. Anyway, Gulf of Tonkin, it was bullshit. Everybody knew it was bullshit. Walter Cronkite looked right into the TV and told you all about it, and it was bullshit, and he knew it was bullshit. They've been lying to you forever, using the public airwaves to fucking get you to give up blood and treasure, right? Get your sons and daughters to go off and fight and die in lands that you heretofore couldn't even point to on a map. And they're not making up for it. They're not going to say sorry. Anyway, the bottom line is Trump is like sick of this shit, like the rest of us, and he decided, all right, what if we brought the guys home? What if we got out of Afghanistan? What if we got out of Iraq? What if we got out of all these fucking ridiculous foreign never-ending wars and spent the money more wisely? Okay, so when he spends the money more wisely, is he just going to hand it directly to you? Again, in that last aid package, who got the lion's share? We got like 4 or 6% of it. I didn't get a dime of it because I didn't ask for any, but I mean, we got like the rest of it went to corporate America. Okay, but you guys got $1,200 checks and maybe a couple $600 checks or whatever. But the bottom line is that was peanuts compared to what the big corporations got. All right. And again, see how the goals line up? All right, so now we're going to take that money and he's going to put it in the pockets of his friends. What do his friends need? They need employees. They need people to do the jobs. Because I'm thinking that this is the next 4 years what you're going to see. They're going to rebuild infrastructure, water, roads, power, and part of rebuilding that infrastructure, again, so that they can make money off of your labor but it benefits all of us in this case, is to be able to, like, you need a steel mill. All right, we're not going to buy our steel from China. All right, that puts a lot of people in the Rust Belt back to work because they're going to start making steel again. What's the steel for? And do the employees of the steel mills make the most money, or do the shareholders and big boy billionaires make the most money out of selling that steel and cement and every other fucking thing that you need to do the infrastructure again, right? To rebuild the infrastructure. So we spent all that money building infrastructure elsewhere. They're going to make money in the United States building infrastructure here. Get it? They don't give a fuck about you. But the bottom line is this works out for everybody, right? The big moguls are going to make money, and the little peons are going to have jobs. And then they're going to pay taxes and fees. They got to buy cars to get to the job, which means they're going to need licenses, which means they're going to need gas, and that means they're going to need fuel tax, right? You see how it works? They're going to make money. The other guys were so fucking atrocious and horrifying that they were gutting this nation, sent our steel, made it so that you couldn't mine rare earth minerals. I would give you a stock tip. There's a gold mine in Montana. I'd looked into it. I bought a bunch of shares, and I'm going to buy a bunch more because that gold mine is figured out. And these are experienced miners. Their management is old. Excuse me. What was I going to say? They figured out that they can get the land up there is so rich, and these are previous gold mines. These are mines that have already been, the richest of it has been taken out. There may be some veins there, but what they figured out is that every time they move a ton of dirt, they get about an ounce of earth. An ounce of gold, 1.4, 1.6, but at least an ounce. All right, so that means that every time they move a ton of gold, a ton of earth, they can pull an ounce of gold out. Well, that means if you pull out 30 tons, you get 30 ounces of gold. You pull out 100 tons, you get 100 ounces of gold. They figured out that they can move a ton of earth and refine it and turn it into gold for about $900 an ounce, somewhere around there, $950, something like that. Gold's twice that. That's 100% profit. And when gold goes to 10,000 and it's still costing only $900 to get it out of the ground, they're okay. That's not happening anytime this week, but I see $10,000 gold on the horizon as clearly as I saw $25 and $50 gold back when I was buying. I used to get 50 of these, or excuse me, I used to get 10 of these for $50. I used to get one of these for $5, right? Try to get one of these for $25 now. I bet you can't. Soon you won't be able to get one of these for 50. Soon you won't be able to get one of these for 100. Soon you won't be able to get one of these for 300. Soon you won't be able to get one of these for 600. And when it's $600 for one of these, none of us are going to be happy. I got a crap ton of them, but you know how fucked up the economy is going to be when you need 600 FRNs. And it's not the fact that this has gone up in value. It's the fact that the FRN, they're fucking destroying it by printing bajillions of them. But part of the way they're going to soak it up and make the thing last longer is they're going to get you and your friends to help them rebuild the infrastructure. So you're going to see them and again, infrastructure, becoming energy independent with our own oil. That serves us, and it serves his boys that are in the energy industry. And again, steel and cement. And, so now you're going to rebuild roads. What do you need? Well, then fucking Caterpillar better build some freaking equipment to make roads, right? High-speed rail. Again, you need specialized equipment, and you're going to need steel, and you're going to need cement, and you're going to need gravel, and you're going to need, right? And, and you're going to need rare earth minerals, and you're going to need, so all this stuff. Our nation has all of this, right? The United States, Canada, and Mexico, that North American continent, we have every fucking thing you could possibly need for anything. There is nothing that we lack, right? But just in North America alone, from Maine to California, gold and silver and metal and bauxite and everything you could, all the minerals that you need, huge tracts of forests, so all the lumber that you could possibly need. Huge amounts of oil, especially up in Alaska. So all the plastics and all the everything else you can need. Plus we have intellectual property here, right? We've got some of the best autistic nerds ever building our software and programs and so forth. And we have this thing called good old fashioned American ingenuity, right? We figure out how to do it better, faster, more, right? That's all coming. And that's the plan. That's part of the plan. The military boys are coming home. They're going to spend their money here. The money that we were wasting in blood and treasure in foreign countries is going to be spent here. Bridges need building and repairing. New roads need making. New rail systems need. I mean, our rail system is ridiculous. I mean, it works, but it's antiquated. High-speed rail, we need it. And on and on and on and on and on and on. So again, Trump's agendas and objectives line up with the common man because they need the workers. Right? They can't automate everything for all of this. If they could, they would. Trust me, but they can't. So they're going to need people, and even just like laying fiber optic cable. So for internet, okay. So then you need fiber optics, and then all the stuff that goes into that, and then energy transmission. I mean, just on and on and on. It's all become because it was gutted by these Democrats that were sending all of our shit overseas, our manufacturing and everything else. For a little while there, we were so fucking stupid. We had the Chinese making our computer chips that were going into devices that were in our military. Right? That's how fucking ridiculous we became. You think the Chinese didn't go, okay, let's put a backdoor in that. Let's make it so that we can flick a switch and now your guidance systems don't work anymore. Let's make it so we can flick a switch and now you can't communicate with the satellites. Because we were so fucking stupid. And I mean, that's just fucking dumbassery on a level that I don't even have English words for. I'm not talking about that. Just beyond the pale when it comes to really your enemies are going to make your computer chips. Are you just, I mean, how fucking stupid can you be? Like beyond stupid. Anyhow, and then that's the other thing. I talked about this in a couple of videos, and that one got deleted. But oddly enough, the United States military has come out and told you on numerous occasions that they got off-world craft. And so they got devices in there that apparently, I don't want to get too crazy because that it's just. But see, it's not crazy talk anymore. Used to be complete crazy talk. Have I ever seen an alien? No. Have I ever been on an alien spaceship? No. Well, if I did, the Men in Black came and I don't remember any of it. But I have no conscious experience with aliens other than the ones that are non-resident of DC. Right? When I figured out non-resident alien, that's another thing. Like I said, it took me long enough to figure out, oh, no, I am. And see, that's another thing. I'm going to write it in writing, and I'm going to put it in quotations. I'm non-resident alien of DC. If I'm in error, let me know. Right? And see, that's another thing that I did with the IRS when I was beefing the IRS blindly and stupidly back in the day when I didn't know what the fuck I was doing at all. I always told them, if I'm in error, correct me. Right? Here's your opportunity. If I'm ignorant or if I'm making a mistake, then don't penalize me, correct me. And it turns out I am a man. Turns out that I'm not a business. I'm not a trader business. I'm a man. Right? John Quincy Adams is a trader business. Right? The all caps name is a trader business. That is definitely a trader business. Okay. But the point being is that things are going to get better. I absolutely like, and I've always said that. But before things get better, there's going to be pain because the leech, the parasite that is sucking on us has gotten so fucking huge. This would be the Federal Reserve Bank. These would be the bankers. That when we pull that parasite off, it's going to bleed and cause some pain. And they're trying to figure out how to pull the parasite off without killing the patient. But that's coming. And those fucking parasites, and that's all they are. The courts, they are parasites. They are absolutely, these bar attorneys, they are fucking parasites. These people are just parasites. And you know what you should do with parasites? Right? Pull them out and squish them. But we don't have the will as a nation to do that. Because if we were all going to be free men, then those 80 million Trump supporters should pick up their guns and go do stuff. Go do patriot stuff. Go do revolutionary stuff. But instead, they're not going to do revolutionary stuff. They're going to stay under the whore of Babylon. And do they, at some point in the future, actually let the slaves know that... I see, and I don't think they can because there'd be a lot of people that are... Okay, it's like, okay, 5 stages of grieving, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. When I first found out about this stuff, first it's shock and disbelief. And then it's bargaining. This can't be true. And then it's, I mean, just go through the 5 stages of grieving. And anger is one of them. All right. So a lot of these people, if there's huge amounts of people that are finding out about this fucking system and how enslaved, and anyway, they're going to be enraged, is my point. A lot of them are going to be pissed off. So now when you have a large number of that, even if it's just a small percentage, 0.00, a couple of them are going to go unhinged. And being that Americans do, in fact, well, U.S. persons, not Americans, do in fact have weapons, a couple of them might use those weapons. Might, maybe, possibly. And they don't want that. And I don't want, you don't, we, none of us want that. So they are loath to tell the truth to a mass of people that has been enslaved since 1865. So for multiple generations, yeah, you don't want to wake them all up at once, and you certainly don't want it coming from on high. So I doubt seriously that you're going to see a large exodus from U.S. persons to state citizens and de jure republic. I just don't think so. Got here a little late. Anyway, so the idea is that, yeah, we have big changes coming, and it's going to be a slow walk. Like so I'm having this conversation with my son, and he's all about revolution and all this stuff. I'm like, really, you think these fucking mask wearers are going to revolt? Really? Right? These are people that are so clever they can't read the box that says that. I tried. See, I went to Costco the other day, and I tried. They just happened to be out of box. They're like, we're going to get more. But I wanted to go buy one of the boxes so that I could hold the box right here and read you the box where it says, this doesn't protect you from the Rona. But I mean, they can't even do that much. You fucking think they're going to take. I'm not bragging or nothing. But do you know how many hours and fucking hours and hours and hours and fucking hours I have spent studying this stuff, reading the books, watching the videos, looking up the treaties, finding the forms, reading the instructions for the forms, figuring out sometimes the instructions give you clues. I mean, look, just pages and fucking pages of notes. Do you know how much time this represents? Do you think that your average citizen out there that wants to play video games and drink beer on Friday is going to fucking go through and educate themselves well enough to be able to even explain any of this? Right? And I'm gonna make. I know. See, I talk about that, but the how-to is going to be personal because everybody's situation is different. So the way I look at it is that you need to inform the heavies. So the first thing you need to do is start learning what the fucking words mean. That's step one. Learn words. Oops. Okay. That language. Okay. Then you got to learn some grammar. Then you got to learn some style. Elements of Style, Styles Manual, Chicago Manual of Styles, right? That book I have, the big orange one that's at the bottom of the pile. All right, fine. I'll just grab it just to show you. Oh, look what I found. We'll talk about this maybe briefly. All right, so that was that one. This one right here. Why? Because they're doing grammar fair, word fair, and law fair against you. So you got to be able to read the Chicago Manual of Styles. This is 15th edition. There are many editions, but basically this is the one that will tell you. Start telling you how to. I mean, everything. Punctuation, huge, as it turns out. The lack or presence of a hyphen changes everything. Anyway, got to know this. All right, so now. You've learned what the words mean. You've learned some grammar. You've learned some styles. Okay. You learn not to be a dumbass like me and write huge amounts of documents. You just write. Oh, I'm going to take a mess now. I can't find stuff easily. Oh, no stay. Oh, there it is. All right. This and this. Okay. All right. So then you learn to write, and then you learn to put the words, and then now, so you learn what to say, and what to say is important as what not to say, and then you have to know who to say it to. Who do you say it to? Attorney generals, inspector generals, two of them, risk management. And this is to just make it so they don't want to fuck with you anymore. And you're going to be polite and just let them know, hey, you keep this shit up and you're going to get sued. So you're taking a risk, and I'm letting you know, right? And I know about your bonds, and I know how to get. So I need your insurance, and it's probably going to be Travelers, by the way. I used to work for them. The bonding company is more than likely going to be Travelers. Travelers used to boast that they had like 70 or 80% of the bonding business in the United States. Anyway, so the AG, the IGs, and I mean, these are inspector. I had a whole video about all the different inspector generals that you could talk to. Treasury inspector, about all the different inspector generals that you could talk to. Treasury inspector general, so on and so forth. Okay, so AGs, IGs, attorneys general, Secretary of State, huge one, if you want to travel and stuff like that. Oh, Treasury, so the Treasury Department, President, all these different things. And then, and this is state level and federal level. This is state level and federal level. It's a huge bureaucracy, and they did this on purpose, slave, right? You want off this plantation, it's a whole bunch of fucking, what's the word I want? Mazes, right? Corn mazes, and crap, there's a name for it in Vietnam when they put the lines up that had little things, and that if the enemy tried to come, it would make noise so that the guys that were on watch could hear it. But there's all that shit, right? And see, some of those warning bells and alarm bells are Patriot Movement and other people that tell you to do the most outrageous and stupid shit. And they're ready for you and put you right back on the plantation when you fuck up, when you start writing bonds again, or when you start trying to lean fucking judges and stuff like that. Goodbye, bye, you ain't coming back, right? They're going to put you in jail. When you start doing stupid shit that jeopardizes your liberty, they're going to call you for it, and they're going to chase you back. And even when you're doing everything right, they're still going to try and chase you back onto the plantation. Right? They don't want to get rid of you. They want you having getting into the point where you have access to the treasury, where you're no longer. I mean, they don't want any of that. Okay, they're not going to help you either. They are going to hinder you at every turn. Okay, so the idea is that this is what I figured out, and then learn, and this is important. History. Right? And then, the bankruptcies that happened. What happened in 1871? What happened in, let's go back in time. Right? The dates that they told you, the bullshit dates they told you in school. 1776. What happened in 1781? What happened in 1871? What happened in 1933? See, and then once you know what the word means, and then you can go back and read some of this stuff, and now it's going to start, you're going to go, oh, because you thought it meant one thing, vessel, right? There's another word you need to know, right? You are the vessel. And see, because it sounds like craziness, but when you start reading the code, you'll start to figure out that, yeah, they're not joking. Some of this stuff is written, the code is written in code. The Bible is written in code. The statutes are written in code. So you'll start to see the code. So anyway, you got to know some dates, and then go back before this. How about 1303 or whatever it was when the freaking Pope said he owns your soul? What happened? Right, and set it up in 1666, the Seneca Trust and stuff like that. Read the Magna Carta. What happened back then? Right. The bottom line is you're a man that's ignorant. You're an infant. And if you're not, if you don't know what the words mean, and you can't stand up as a man, and you can't use words and paper to make your thoughts known simply and easily to the people that need to know, then yeah, you don't deserve to come out, as they say. And you may stumble across some stuff where they come say, well, they're going to come say hi, but they're going to come say hi with some documents that you might need to sign that's non-disclosure. I will have no problem anymore with any of that, right? Because I am so fucking disgusted. I can scarcely stand to look at some of my childhood friends and their fucking masks and their fucking smuggerant jackassery that is just so fucking stupid. They don't even know they're stupid. So I have no desire to try and bring them out or educate them. And even if you did, they'd just call you a crazy conspiracy theorist. So why bother? I'm certainly not going to bust my ass any more than this. This is me busting my ass right here, talking to right. I used to do this 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, when I worked at that radio station, and it was just mostly comedy and goofing off. And once in a while, we did some serious stuff. And whenever we did some serious stuff, the only time, well, okay, we got into some UFOology, and yeah, they came visit. You guys want to keep a broadcast license? Then you need to shut the fuck up, because we're in Hawaii, and yeah, there's UFOs here. Unidentified flying objects, because there's a military base called Pearl right over there. Were those UFOs us, or were they aliens? I don't know. But we had, on more than one occasion, because I broadcasted most of the state and all the island, we were one of the few Maui radio stations that showed up on Oahu. Yeah, there were sightings. And this is, you got to remember, this is back in the 80s. I quit in 1990, was when I quit in, May of 90. So this was before the advent of the cell phone and the internet and all that kind of stuff. So, but we did get phone calls about many people seeing stuff in the sky. Let's put it that way. Anyway, so I talked about it on the radio, and they didn't like that. Bottom line is, I have no interest in enlightening my fellow man. I have no interest in trying to get a huge amount of people. Like I said, I make a lot of these videos for myself. And if you go back and watch some of the videos I make, I misspeak on occasion. And sometimes I just straight up get it fucking wrong. So you need to go and, start doing your own damn research and figuring out what's what and who's who, and what the words mean and so forth. But the idea is that, I have no interest anymore. I have the contempt that they have for us, and they have nothing but contempt for us, is become the contempt I have for the. There was no cheating. You have no evidence of cheating. That's ridiculous. They wouldn't cheat. Our fucking. It's me being Karen. I want to see the manager. The idea that there wasn't any cheating, and that somehow our vote is secure, and that they wouldn't cheat, and blah blah. Even when you watch them fuck Bernie 2 times, really, and now they try to fuck Trump, and those 2 times weren't enough for you to figure out that one, electors, you're not the one that's choosing the men that rule you. And 2, they cheat. They rig elections. It happens right in front of your nose. And it's happened before. You just didn't know about it. This time, you're going to find out about it. Information. The consciousness is waking. It's definitely going up. People are starting to figure this out. And then we've got the solar sneeze to think about. And then anyway, there's lots of different things that you need to become aware of. And the idea is that most of them don't want to become aware. Like, they actively don't want to. My girlfriend is amazed at some of her friends. We all have access to the same information, and yet some of her friends absolutely refuse to look. And in 2020, it's October, and they still, November now, sorry. They still voted for Biden because Trump derangement syndrome. Really? Okay. Still denying the fact that there's trafficking going on, still denying the fact that there's slavery on this planet, and it's going on wide, still trying to deny the fact that there's Luciferians and Satanists that actually hold positions of power and actually have a religion on this planet that is every bit as defined and robust as the Christian religion, or the Hindus, or the Buddhists, or the Jews, or the Muslims. You just don't talk about the Satanists, but they're coming out of the woodwork now. If you look around, there's a lot of people now that are proclaiming their love of Satan or Lucifer and so forth out in public on social media, and those guys don't get much hassle at all. But if you try to come out for Christ and talk about, the Jesus, and if you're a Mormon or a Seventh-day Adventist or whatever, or Jehovah's Witness, they're gonna fucking censor the hell out of you and call you a racist on top of everything else. But it's fine to be a Luciferian. It's fine to be ignorant about traffic. It's fine to be ignorant about the fact that, and when I talk about traffic, I'm talking about human traffic, gun traffic, drug traffic, influence traffic, all the traffic that goes on. And you still have a huge portion of this populace that is absolutely, positively fucking brain dead, stupid, and asleep, and wants it that way, likes it that way. I have a picture of myself way back in the day when my hair was Obama'd, and we were sitting on a deck. I remember the day. There used to be a bar down here called Margaritas, and you could sit on a deck, and it's right on the beach, right? I mean, like the deck overlooked the beach. You could go down on the beach, and so, but it was a restaurant, and a Mexican restaurant, and they would have certain days where they've had drink specials and so forth. And you could sit on the deck, drinking margaritas, and watch the whales jumping around out in the roadstead. And yeah, there's a picture of me and one of my best friends just having margaritas. I don't even have a shirt on, and I've got the little round glasses, the little Beatles glasses. What was the guy's name? John Lennon glasses, the little round ones. And he's got his sunglasses on. And we're just, you can tell, we're just sitting there having a good time, drinking margaritas. All right, I don't drink alcohol anymore. Margaritas is closed. I believe that Clinton was a great president. I believe I voted for Clinton. Let's see. Like I said, it used to be brain dead, dumb, asleep. But even then, back in the day, that picture was probably taken in the late 80s or early 90s. And I still had a securities license back then. I was still working for the radio station back then. Right? Now I'm self-employed. I don't work for anybody else. Nobody freaking writes me a check. I write my own checks. Right? It's a progression. But what you're seeing is some of these guys, they don't want to progress. They don't want to learn anything. They don't want to learn the words, right? I mean, you got Hawaiians, bro. They're not going to even speak English. The only fucking language they know how to speak is Pidgin, right? And then they go caught, and they get freaking they eat them up inside court, because when they go caught, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So the judges eat them up, right? Okay, you need to learn how to speak standard English. I can speak Pidgin, and see, that was just bastardized English. Pidgin has lots of different, right? Yeah, when we go all with the VIIIa on the other side of the road. Okay, a lot of people don't understand that. But basically, I went to go talk to a lady that was on the other side of the road. We went, and when I say go talk, that's not even the right translation. But we had a conversation. We were speaking. We were having, anyway. Talk story is a Pidgin English term. But the idea is you got to learn their words. Don't learn the legalese. Well, learn the legalese, but don't use the legalese. Learn the Latin, the language of the dead, but don't use the Latin, the language of the dead. Use standard, plain, simple, common speech English. The common speech was given to us by the Masons, Francis Bacon, to make it so that we could communicate with each other. Because in England, again, go learn your history, the Scots and the Welsh and the English could barely, and the Irish couldn't fucking speak to each other, because they all spoke dialects that were so far apart that so then they came in and they standardized all of that Anglo-Saxon with this thing that we call the English language. It was a made-up language. You're gonna go learn the history of English. Anyway, see, and that's part of this, etymology and so forth. And then you find out that Francis Bacon and the Masons and so forth. And then that's the other end. You got to find out about the brotherhoods, which is the quote-unquote secret history. Because, and to this day, we are ruled by the brotherhoods. Make no mistake. All right. Holy crap, I've been going for two hours. Let's look in here. Let's see here. We're going to go with T for teeth. Because my teeth is bothering me. Like I said, I could show it to you. I don't even, I just got to I can't even open my mouth wide anymore because it's so sore over here. Actually, right now it's not sore, but if I tried to open my mouth, it would be sore. Let's see. Then I am just going to, okay, teeth represents decisions. This is Louise. I recommend this book. I recommend this book. I recommend this book. Let's see here. Problems, root canal. Don't get a root canal. All right, but long-standing indecisiveness, inability to break down ideas for analysis and decisions. That's teeth, problems, right? I make my decisions based on principles of truth, and I rest securely knowing that only right action is taking place in my life. So she tells you the problem, and she gives you an affirmation. Again, this physical person is the manifestation of the thoughts that are in your brain. She began to see that yes, there is, and now that I start to see, yep, you got money problems, gonna have lower back problems. You got family problems, it's usually gonna be your upper back. Oh, and then this book I happen to like because not all of them have this. Oops, which is this. And it shows you the spine and all the different problems that you can have in your back. And because, right, the spinal cord, that's where all the nerve endings go out. And then it tells you what they, right? So if you're having trouble with your lumbar, 11T, that's your kidneys. 10T, that's your kidneys. And then skin conditions such as acne, pimples, eczema, and so forth. So so if this gets out of line, you can have a physical manifestation of skin problems. Let's go up here to the thoracic, and we'll talk about 3C, right? Cheeks, outer ear, face, bones, teeth, tracheal nerve, and then it says words that I don't, neurologica, acne or pimples, eczema, neuritis. Anyway, if your back is out of, you can have, all right, so this is very useful. I know many chiropractors and others that this is a freaking gospel for them. And then over here, it starts talking about, well, if you have problems with 7T, storing pain, refusing to enjoy. Here's your affirmation. I willingly let go. I allow sweetness to fill my life. Okay, lumbar spine, a crying for love and need to be loved. Wait a minute. A crying for love and a need to be lonely, insecurity. I am safe in the universe and all life loves and supports me. Anyway, so the idea is that she has figured out that, yeah, your physical body can let you know what's going on and vice versa, what's going on in your mind. So I don't want to get too personal. Actually, I'm not even going to go there. But the idea is that we have found that this book actually has quite a bit of knowledge in it that is useful to you to making your life better and happier by healing the body. Because I have said this numerous times. What's the point of all of this if you don't have health? What's the point of having money if you don't have liberty? What's the point of, and if you have liberty and you're sick and dying anyway, who fucking cares? So life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Right? So first things first, get your liberty taken care of. If money in happiness, or if money equates to happiness for you, or happiness equates to money for you, well, first secure your liberty and your health, and then you can tap into the unlimited resources of that corporation that you're a part of. Well, actually, the jure that you're part of, right? The United States of America, which has a constitution for the United States of America, not the United States, or in fact, not the United States, not right, just United States. And the Constitution for United States is Constitution of the United States. And that's it. Did you hear America? Right? So you want to be, I want to be, I don't know if you do. Some people want to be their own thing. They don't want to be affiliated with anybody. They want to be on their own, and they want to try to be sovereign. And no, I like being a state citizen. I like being part of the only country on the planet that's had that was founded on ideals. I'm not claiming that I'm descended from Christ and therefore I have a right to govern, or I'm descended from the dragon and I have a right, or the snake, or whoever the fuck it is. They're saying, look, all men are created equal. We all have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And here's a little place where we can play on the North American continent, where this is how it works. Common law is in effect here. No kings or queens, no nobility, just men doing men things, or men and women doing men and women things, like, having sex and raising children and growing food and building shit and engaging in commerce with one another and worshiping together and fellowshipping together and partying together and drinking and eating together. And then some of you might want to be the guys that provide the foods and drinks, and some of you might be the ones that want to drink the drinks and eat the foods. Some of you want to be purveying whatever the fuck it is. People will, right? I make mugs. I make glasses, utensils, pens and pens, equipment for teaching mathematics, whatever it is. Okay, I've gone on long enough, but the idea was we were supposed to be healthy, happy, and prosperous here, and if you ain't got your health, you ain't got nothing. So secure your health, and then secure your liberty, and that turns out to be a bit of a job. And then you can start talking about, tapping into the treasury and getting your EINs and all that other stuff, but get your fucking liberty secured first. You are a man. You need to let everybody recognize the fact that you're a man. So again, who to say it to? Your attorney generals need to know. Oh, who else did I not put up here? I didn't put, how about your police department? Police. And see, through the police, you can write a letter to the risk management and let them know that the police are causing a risk to this county. They're county employees. They're officers of the County of Maui Police Department. If they violate your rights, that's huge liability to County of Maui. So police, sheriffs also. Shire Reefs. Sheriffs. It's a mess, but that's what it says. It says. That's spell. All right, sheriffs, attorney generals, all the law enforcement guys, quote unquote. Your attorney general is the top law enforcement. Some of you who are involved in homeschooling and so forth may want to notice your school board and your whatever school or high school that's in your district. Clue. What about districts? And that's the other thing you need to understand. You got your state. The state is divided into counties. The counties are divided into districts. And sometimes, and there's multiple districts, sometimes like the state of Hawaii. The state of Hawaii is busted into two districts. There's District 1 and District 2. Then the County of Maui. We've got 3 islands here. We're the only county in the whole thing that is made up of 3 different islands that have the 3 habitable islands, Maui, Molokai, and Lanai. And all of them have people on them. And you would think that would be 3 different counties, 1 county for each island, but no, it's a county and county. What are they doing? They're counting the slaves on the plantation. But so they count everybody on on those 3 islands as part of Maui County. What is a county? What are they counting? You are what they're counting. All right, and then inside that county, there may be like for our county council. The islands are busted up into various districts, and it's crazy where our districts are, right? But there's East Maui, there's West Maui, there's Kahului and Wailuku, there's freaking Upcountry Maui, which includes seats from other islands, right? Anyway, the idea being is that you got to understand your local government. Let's put it that way, and then you got to inform. Local government, which is generally going to be your police department, sheriffs, and so forth. And these might be local police, like in Hawaii. Hawaii is as far outside the United States as you can be and still be inside the United States. We don't have state troopers, so you might want to inform the chief of police of the fact that you are in fact a man and of your status that has a right to travel and that you plan on exercising that right unencumbered by license. And if any of your fucking guys come up and try to offer me a contract, you're going to accept the contract. You're not going to fight and not consent and so forth. But then I'm going to take it the next step when we come to court. And you guys are either going to withdraw, which is probably what they're going to do, if you know what they're doing, or if you know what you're doing. I don't have that. Like I said, this is just an offer to contract. I've said it numerous times. So you accept their offer with a signature, you're bad. So there's local, right? And then, so that's, law, the LEs, law enforcement. So that could be sheriffs, police, etc. Okay. And then there's state, same thing. And then there's Fed, right? So here, there is no Secretary of State, there is no Attorney General here, but there is an SS here and there is an AG there. There is an SS here and an AG there. This also has to do with your right to travel. The Secretaries of State are the ones that are going to give you documents so that you can travel. This inside your state, where you're using the trade routes that you call roads and highways, This, when you want to cross borders like Canada and Fiji and Mexico and I don't know, UK, Europe, whatever. When you want to cross the borders, you're going to need some paperwork. You're going to need a document. You're going to need that passbook account, that portfolio, that passport, so you can pass the ports. So yeah, there's paperwork to be done. But again, now that I've run into this guy, it's not so daunting because it's going to be about this much. Right? This is a very specific thing, dealing with that truancy thing and dealing with their petition for compulsory education. And that's all it was a petition. There was no injured party. They had no witnesses. They had some piece of paper. So, the next thing I was going to do, if they wanted to get stupid, then everybody that was on that thing, and there was a bunch of teachers that said he missed this class and this class. And yeah, because he didn't go to school, because I didn't put him in school anymore. Come and say it out loud in the court of law. Verify your affidavits. Okay, anyway, so it's going to be short. Hi, I'm a man. I'm reserving all my rights. Right? I'm reserving my right to travel, or particularly my right to travel. Right? So, because again, understand that if you include one thing, you exclude others. So if you list and see, are you going to list all your rights? Well, you're going to need pages and pages and pages and pages. So no, you're just going to all rights, all of them. I don't waive any of them. Okay, the rights that are concerning this document, if you're writing to this person, is my right to travel. Your rights, if you're talking to this person, is my right to travel on the. When I say right to travel, I mean right to travel internationally from nation to nation. Right to travel inside the state. Right? Okay. So you're going to need identification that reflects the fact that you're a man and not a person, not a trade or business. Okay. So then it turns out not to be so daunting because you only need a few sentences. Right? And you need to be cordial and nice and let them know. And then, hey, you got to recognize me. And then, not every time, because you're just noticing them. In some cases, like sometimes you have to have it, like you want the Secretary of State to give you a passport, so you're actually asking them to do something. You want the Treasury, the Secretary of the Treasury to set up an EIN account for you, so you want them to actually do something. But like risk management, they don't have to do anything. They don't have to respond to you. Right? You're just noticing them. Hey, you keep fucking up. I'm letting you know, and I let you know in advance. Right? And then you let them season 30, 30, 30. Now, in some of those, you're going to need responses, right? So you're going to need them to write you a letter that says, yeah, here's your, or, here's the state ID. Here's the passport, right? Right? So you're going to need some help with them. Here's your account number with the Treasury and so forth. But overall, you're just going to write letters to these people and let them know. Then, in the future, and you're going to keep track of them. And you're going to make copies, and you're going to make sure that they're not all in your house. That's another thing, right? Okay. So then, after this, you can refer back to these. And it's like, hey, I noticed you. I didn't just notice you once. I noticed you twice. I noticed you 3 times. And, right, 3 notices. And here's the green cards. So I know you got it. Right? Because I sent this certified mail. Notice that I don't have it handy. I was going to grab it, but I don't have any laying around. But anyway, notice that when it's certified mail, it goes on a green card. And notice that when it's certified mail, you put a green label on there. Green, pardon me, is a important thing, that mantle. And you'll notice on the tarot card, the guy's wearing a green mantle almost every time. That's the master. When Tiger Woods becomes the champion of the golf guys and he becomes master, he gets a green jacket. There's a great picture of Bill Clinton standing with the black robe guys, and he's in a green suit. An ugly green suit, too. Not even a pretty looking green suit. But anyway, there's symbolism there. But the idea is that, look, I told you fucking 3 times. I told you once. I told you twice. I told you 3 times. You have no fucking excuse. You have no way to claim plausible deniability. You have no way to claim ignorance. You have been told. I done told you, bitch. Right? So now, if we go into court, I pull out my documents. Were you in receipt of this? Well, then what are you doing? Right? You're running me in here for not having a license. I told you I don't need a license. I'm traveling. Right? I already did this. I told you I didn't consent. Right, whatever the freaking controversy is. See, but there will be no controversy. And they knew it, and Talk to a couple of these police officers. If you stay on your square, there's no controversy. If you weren't disturbing the peace, you weren't causing anybody harm, you weren't causing anybody loss, and you didn't have some kind of contract or some kind of piece of paper that had mischief on it. This is mischievous, right? No mischief in your contracts, right? So says the Lord your God. Anyway, this is a mischievous contract with all these boxes and them trying to make you a defendant and them trying to like, ooh, that's not in the box. So when you sign it, yeah, you signing that you're a defendant. Fraudulent conveyance of language. Oh, look at that hyphen. Oh, that little hyphen. You're in so fucking much trouble for putting that hyphen right there, right? Because no, it's no longer state of Hawaii. So now you're outside your style of process. See, there's a whole other thing when it comes to understanding. And I can tell you in Hawaii, I don't know what it is for your state, but it will be there if you look it up. I've gone through so much of this so many times, but let's see, I should know this. Style of process is the Hawaii revised statutes for Hawaii, but go look it up in California. There is a style of process. Every state has a style of process. If you don't know what style of process means, go find out what that means. Anyway, HRS 601-15, style of process for the state of Hawaii shall be the state of Hawaii in title case, not just all caps state of Hawaii. Right? You are outside your process, bitches. And now I know. Where do you see state of Hawaii anywhere on here? You see the state of Hawaii on here? When they send you paperwork and any kind of stuff, is there anything in there that says the state of Hawaii? Or does it just say state of Hawaii in all caps, that corporation? You got them dead to rights. Okay, but not if you're ignorant. Not if you don't know what the words mean, not if you know, but if you stay on your fucking square, they can't touch you. That's what I told my boy. I was so not worried. I was sitting on a chair outside, minding my own. You can't tell me that in order to enjoy the right of my First Amendment right, first, I have to put a mask on. No, you can't. You want to try? Well, fuck around. Let's find out. Right, because of the emergency issue and this and that. Okay, I'm not under that jurisdiction anyway. Well, actually, I am because I haven't told them that I'm coming out yet. But they can't contract with a man. They can only contract with my legal person. And my legal person has a driver's license, and that's not me. That's a picture of me. That's not me. That's my name in all caps, backwards, starting with my last name first. Nobody's ever called me, ever, Rogers Ben H. or Rogers Ben Hosea. I've never heard that ever. They may call me Ben. They may call me Ben Hosea. In fact, like I said, until I was, I don't know, 6 years old, I never heard the two words apart. It was always Ben Hosea. It was never Ben Rogers. That was my radio name. It would sound like I made it up. Very common first name, very common last name. And that's why in business, it's always had the H or Hosea in there. Okay. See, we're way toward the end here, so I'll use my actual name. But I mean, fuck, if you have any kind of, go look up Crouton Ramon's House of Math and do a who is, and my name's right there. And my address and my depository, it's all there. Right? I don't make it, I'm not overt about it, but I mean, you know, people try to be somewhat incognito on the internets because there's all kind of crazy people out there, but I'm not worried about the 10 people here so much or any of you guys over here. But anyway, the idea is if you're on your square, they can't fuck with you on your square. This is impenetrable if you know what you're doing. Right? But the minute they try, then here's how they try to get in. This is always how they try to get in. They try to get into your square by offering you, what did I just do with it? I had it in my hand a second ago. That yellow piece of paper, the ticket. Anyway, what did I just do with it? But anyway, they try to contract with you. Yes, there it is. Put it in the folder. And this is how they try to get into your square. And the way they get into your square is by you fucking signing. Right? Did your grandma tell you don't sign anything? Mine did. Don't sign anything. Right? When I put this on the end, right, I stamped it in red and I put no contract because I don't have a contract with this private corporation. And if I do, please produce the contract so I can rescind it or we can modify it or we can negotiate. Why it gets hot? This stuff not hot. Okay. Now, if I go over there and cause somebody loss by burning their house down or by breaking the windows in their business and so forth, well, I've stepped off my square. Now I'm out here in the land of the dead. Right? So what you want to be able to do is understand the land of the dead, all caps, and the living thing. When you walk into that court, you're walking into the dead. That's why they wear black. That's why the guy's in black robes. You should learn the history of the courts and where that whole thing comes from. You're literally taking part of a ritual. It's a stylized ritual, but it's still a ritual. Anyway, if you harm somebody, right? Now here's the thing: we used to harm each other all the time. Nobody called the cops. One time I got in a fight with my girlfriend's father, kicked the shit out of that man. He didn't call the cops, right? And if he would have kicked the shit out of me, I wouldn't have called the cops. Same thing, Idaho. You get in a fight in Idaho, ain't nobody calling the cops. Same thing, Montana. Ain't nobody calling the cops. Right? Bar fights are constant, and police don't need to be involved. But they're not pussies up there. Meantime, you shove somebody in California, and you could get sued. All right, and then over here, disturbing the peace, right? You can't be out there, right? But if you stay on your square, they have no in, right? And the only way that you can give them an in is if you sign a document. Or if you come out of your square and you try to come out here and fuck around and try to pretend like you're a person. Because that's what you're doing. You're making pretend. Just like the Democrats are making pretend that Biden won. Just like you all make pretend that the president has some rule over you. And he does. He absolutely does. I haven't seen my girlfriend in a year. Why? Because she won't come to Hawaii and I can't get to Fiji and so forth. Why? Because of the mask, because of this bullshit story of the Rona. So yeah, does it make a difference? Yes. But at the same time, these guys, so to say that they don't have an effect, or guys that say, oh, well, those FRNs are useless, well, I'll tell you what, give me all your FRNs then. Because I can take those useless FRNs and turn them into these things. Right now I need 35 of them or so, 30, 35 of them. Used to be 5 of them. So I need 7 times as much. That's because our money is worth 7 times less. Actually, it's worth like 10, 20 times less. So this is a bargain. Go get some. And this is too big. You want dimes. You're going to want dimes, quarters, etc. Because this is going to be way too much. You're not going to be able to barter with this. It's going to be like, like I said, if things work out the way I think, it's going to be $600-700 for one of these. And gold will be $10,000. And you're not going to be happy because, this will be, $30. This will be $50 because, and if it gets really stupid, instead of $6, this will be, $50 because the money is going to no good. Okay. Have I babbled long enough? I think I did an hour before this and 2 hours here. So yeah, I've been talking for days over here. But all right, you guys need to educate yourself. And this is the other thing, because I have to make sounds at you. It takes a long time to get the points across and understand all this stuff. All right, now I have a complete mess. At least I had stuff piled up before. Now it's all papers and shit all just scattered because I was holding them up and stuff. And I'm looking down here to see. Oh, here's one last thing I'm going to share. This is a friend of mine. I know this guy, Bruce Woodard. Medicine Beneath Your Feet. It's freaking awesome. The only problem is it's black and white. I wish he had a colored version. But basically, he has a picture of the plant and all the different things the plant can do. And all the different things that traditionally it was used in medicine. And all the different things that it can do. Like this plant right here, I always wondered, because any kahuna I've ever visited had this plant growing around, either in pots or in the yard, but this plant was always there. And what they're saying is that what they use it for, mucosaloskeletal trauma, lymphatic, pediatric, parasites, psychospiritual. Anyway, and then it just tells you how to use the plant. Because, especially here in Hawaii, like even this one, this dandelions, right? Good for getting rid of cancer, all kinds of stuff. This is a book you might want to look into. And then it is hugely referenced. Look at all that. Right? It's book after book after book. I've read a few of these books back here. I was going through the bibliography, but I mean, oh my God, every book you can possibly want when it comes to plants and herbs and stuff. I mean, look at that, just pages and pages and pages. and then comes the index, right? But I mean, this is worth it just for this bibliography alone, because here's a huge amount of books that talk about herbs and natural medicine, right? Like, and see, because right, Chinese medicinal herbs. There's the book, right? A lot of times he even has the ISBN number. So anyway, just as a reference for all these different books, this thing's worth it. I think he sells them for $25, $30. I'm confident you can get this thing on Amazon. And look, he was planning on making another one, but I was talking to him and he's like, I don't know, because it takes a lot to make a book. But time and energy and so forth. And so, but this is healing plants in the Hawaiian Kingdom. But you can find most of the plants that grow here. They grow in the tropics anywhere. A lot of the plants grow in Mexico. I've been to Mexico and seen a lot of the plants that are in Mexico. In Yucatan anyway. Also Fiji, and it's amazing. There's a lot of plants in Fiji that they don't have in Fiji that we do have here. And you would think that the canoe plants made it everywhere, but they didn't. So that was the last thing I wanted to share with you. Not kidding. Get this book. And let's call it a day. That's Sunday school. I spent quite a bit of time with you guys, 3 hours, 4 hours today, and that's it. It's going to be a while before I come back. Here are my predictions. Come back and see if I made them correctly or not. Trump wins. It's going to turn out that there was quite a bit of cheating. Many people are going to be exposed for high crimes and misdemeanors, and they're not going to get off the way Barr was a fixer. A lot of these people are going to be in trouble for lots of different things, and they are going to keep the traffic and the stuff that's on the laptops to a minimum. But Trump gets back in, and then many of the perps are going to be put in jail, put in Gitmo, etc. That's my prediction. You will know for a fact in less than 30 days, because this will all be resolved in the next 4 weeks. That will seem like a long time, but it's not. It's actually pretty fast when things going by. So, like I said, the reality TV star understands the concept. When you make a story, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. Act 1 was the whole thing where we did the huge amounts of rallies and stuff like that and voting. And okay, so that was Act 1. Act 2, which is where we are now, is the, oh no, we don't know who's president, and there was a lot of cheating, and then you got to really ramp it up here, and you get a chance to make your Democrat friends look like asses because they're posting all kind of stuff about how Biden won and how they know Biden won because CNN told them, and how there was no vote fraud, and how ridiculous a conspiracy theory that is, and how the people elected president. Okay, so Trump understands that you really got to make Act 2. Act 2 makes the story. Act 1 is the setup. Act 2 is the story, and then the resolution is Act 3. And the resolution is going to be him getting back into the White House, whether it's Supreme Court or whatever methods. Our founding fathers understood the concept of cheating, and they had a way to go about this. If all else fails, it will go to the House, and they'll vote, and the Republicans win. If it comes to that, and I don't think it will, but if it does come to that, 39 out of 50, ain't no way Trump doesn't get back in, period. And the Democrats can gnash their teeth and scream and cry all they want and pretend, right? For 4 years, they didn't accept this election, right? Try to delegitimize the president, not my president. Fuck you. And now they're like, oh, we got to heal. He needs to accept the results. He should concede. It's dangerous that he doesn't concede. We just cheated. Oh, wait, no, we didn't. We didn't cheat. No, right? Fucking Democrats. I hate them. Anyway, so the bottom line is you'll know in 30 days, and then the final act, Act 3, and then it'll start over. There'll be a new story. But this one was 3 acts: the election, the post-election bullshit that we're in now, and then finally, and then the third act ends with the actual inauguration of President Trump. Biden and Harris aren't getting in. Mark it. And that's all I got to say about that. And I hope you guys have a happy Thanksgiving, which is in just another couple of weeks, and careful on the Black Friday wild thing. And I should maybe I'll make one coming up, but I've got all manner of shit going on. That's probably going to make it where I don't want to make a video for quite a while. And this was, like I said, I shotgunned a whole bunch of shit into this one. And then comes Christmas, and then it's New Year's. This year's already over. As soon as Halloween's done, it's like the year's over, right? Because then comes Thanksgiving, and then comes kind. And then remember whose holidays are coming up, right? Saturnalia and all that kind of stuff. Ugh. So meditate, join the prayer circles that you can. That shit works. It absolutely works. So if you can put your mind in with another bunch of people that are meditating all at the same time, or praying all at the same time, if that's your come from Christian point of view, do it, is what I'm saying. Because understand that the Luciferians and Satanists, they're not done. They never are going to be done. We're never going to get all of them. Tolkien even told you, right? You knock down one Dark Lord and another Dark Lord will eventually rise. But it's time to knock down the Dark Lords that had gotten to the point where they're so fucking brazen that they would snatch children out of neighborhoods in broad daylight. Those guys need to be put to the sword. And it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's absolutely coming. Be of good cheer. Like I said, educate yourself, educate others. E pluribus unum. That's how we get this fighting with each other over the fact that you're a Democrat and I'm a Republican, or you're a Libertarian. No, there is a foreign enemy ruled by a very dark force. One of the manifestations of that dark force and foreign enemy is communism. They took over China. They took over Russia. Russia pretty much threw them off. China is deeply under their control. And the Chinese understood that if they wanted world dominion, they had to get rid of the United States. We're in the way. And the guy that was leading the United States and was most in the way was a man named Donald Trump. So they had to try to get rid of that fucking guy so they could get to the rest of us. Not going to happen. I don't believe there's any good guys, but quote unquote, good guys win. God wins. We beat them every time. We beat these demons every time. You don't remember, I'm sure, but we beat them every time. This time will be no different. And then when you get dead, you're going to have the option to move forward, or you can come back here and play another round, right? I think I'm going to go try to move forward if I'm allowed, if I've done made it, if I've done the things that I need to do, because I've had some fairly severe fuck ups in my past, for which I'm going to have to do penance and more than what I've done so far. But anyway, the idea being is that, the chance for progression is in your grasp. So meditate, educate, and e pluribus unum. We're going to get to the other side of this. I'm telling you, we come out the other side of this smelling like roses. But first, there's pain. I have that up here in big letters. But first, before we get, and it's our own damn fault. Went to sleep at the wheel. So there's going to be some pain. But once we get past that, and see, your idea, like I said, we're in a war. We're in a spiritual war. We're in an actual war. Your job is to make sure through your education, meditation, and prayer that you don't wind up being a casualty. So you prepare for everything that comes, because there's no war without casualty. There's never been a war without casualty. So don't be one of the casualties, and don't let your family members be casualties. And we come out the other side smelling like roses, like I said. All kind of technology is going to be released. There's fucking great stuff coming, but you got to get there first. And in the meantime, spend the time it takes to educate yourself and liberate yourself so that you have life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness within your reach. Okay, it is in your reach. So take advantage. Be happy. Without sounding too stupid about it, greatest place to be born, greatest nation on earth. Common law, greatest thing. But not if you don't understand it, and not if you're ignorant. So educate yourself and educate others. And I will talk to you soon. 100 Monkey out. E pluribus unum.